So there's a few things that I really want to talk about here today. First and foremost, I want to talk about something that has been a topic that has been brought up repeatedly. You know, the homie Caleb here, he's like a brother to me. You know what I mean? One of my nearest and dearest. But even though he's like a brother to me, you know, sometimes he has the tendency to nag at me like a wife, and that's okay. You know, I put up with it.
Oh, it is. You put it up. I knew exactly what he was talking about.
That's amazing.
It looks fucking incredible.
It looks invincible.
It does.
I'll give you one for that.
Think about.
You know, I was gonna troll you and just say, you know, it's been up for the past 4 weeks and you haven't said anything about it, but.
Well, I think for some reason in my brain, I thought you were going to put it over there. And then I realized that'd be out of the shot.
Yeah.
But I really didn't see it up there. It looks balling out of control.
Yeah. I mean, it's a gorgeous piece. Again, yeah, you guys can see it there in the frame. And I'll zoom in if I decide to do a clip on this one. But yeah, it's a really good looking one. But then I realized I'm going to put the Invincible poster in here. I can't have the books not be in here too.
Right.
Yeah, so
they should be in here anyway.
Well, yeah, they are. They are here again. Sandman was there, but instead I had to swap those out for Invincible.
We won't tell Kay that.
You know, yeah, if I get like an Endless Dream poster somewhere, then I'll figure that out.
You can tell we've known each other a long time, and also that we've been podcasting together for a long time, because you started your build up, and like I went to go take a drink, and then you started your build up, and then I waited to see what you were going to say before I took the drink, because I was like, this could be something ridiculous.
Yep.
And this stuff is expensive. Lauren, welcome back to the show. I mean, this is like, you know, it's 2 in a row here.
Yes.
I know, you guys make me laugh so hard. I love coming here.
Well, we are always glad to have you. I have a random question that's like completely off the cuff, but it makes sense for it to happen while you're here. Why do you think there's not a ACOTAR live adaptation yet?
Casting. 1,000% it's a casting issue. Because who the fuck are you gonna cast as a 7-foot, you know, boy with big black wings, you know, being a shadow daddy? And
What are we talking about?
A Court of Thorns and Roses. Okay, so it's like, you know how like Game of Thrones was kind of like the standard for like fantasy for a while?
Right.
So ACOTAR is kind of like it's like the Game of Thrones of smut right now.
You'll see a lot of it at Dragon Con cosplay.
But it's like, it's not like smut. It's like smut. It's light.
It's high fantasy smut.
Yeah.
It's what we like to call it.
Romantasy is the official genre, I think.
Okay.
And, you know, our Lord and Savior Brandon Sanderson has asked me not to gatekeep. And I'm trying to obey his wishes.
And I appreciate it from him. Also, the full trailer dropped for that vampire show I was telling you guys about.
Yeah.
It's litty. You guys are missing out.
Well, we're just going to have to miss out.
Unless you can convince me that Blade is in it, I don't know if I'll be...
The only reason I thought of that is, like, on the way over here, I was thinking about, like, you know, like Hollywood and, like, how it's really difficult right now for them to find cash cows and, like, things that would make a bunch of money. And I'm just like, that is obviously, like, a thing.
They're doing a Fourth Wing show.
Like a TV show?
I believe it's going to be like a Hulu style like release.
Is Rebecca Yarros involved?
Very involved.
Cool.
The casting is the appropriate color. So I'm already on board.
Yeah. I'm going to need them to figure out the height thing. I mean, they can do that with movie tricks.
Unless you can literally do a Sinners where Michael B. Jordan played multiple characters with Henry Cavill and put black wings on him and make him play all of the Bat Boys. I don't know that we can do this.
They can fix the height now. I mean, like,
but it's not just the height.
Elijah
it's
Wood
also the build. Like, you can't make Elijah Wood Cassian. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, like, Ian McKellen is not actually, like, you know, 5 feet taller than him. Like, they do a lot of camera tricks with Lord of the Rings.
It would be a real tough ask.
I need them to figure it out because, like, Kaladin's like 7'4", and gonna need them to work all that out. But all the Rosharans are tall, and so.
But I think that's the biggest holdback, honestly, is I think that SJM, they had like a contract that was in the works and then it went to shit. And I think that they just couldn't meet all of her demands, I think is what it is.
Got it.
And that's why you've got all of her series that are vastly popular. I mean, Throne of Glass is wildly popular and I think 9 or 10 books long. And it's been out since the early 2000s, the first book. And
she has like a Cosmere type thing,
and
but
they're interwoven.
yeah, the different series.
Okay.
It's
Are we still talking about smut?
It's high fantasy.
It's romantasy. Some people might get their dick sucked.
Got it. Okay.
Absolutely.
But it's not like a porn. I mean, there is that out there, but like this is not what this is. This is like, okay, it's a fantasy novel series, and like they just don't fade to black as fast when the fucking starts.
Okay.
You know, like I mean, honestly, like Game of Thrones has got some pretty graphic. Scenes.
If you would have made the scenes a little softer in Game of Thrones, a little more romantic, I would have absolutely called Game of Thrones a romantasy.
Yeah, but instead, like they just describe Ned releasing his seed and
exactly,
shit. And you're just like, nah.
I always say romantasy has oral, and that's like kind of the difference between like a Game of Thrones where it's like sex in it.
For a second, like I gave this podcast the benefit of the doubt, and I was like. Maybe she said aura.
No,
she definitely said oral. Okay.
George R.R. Martin describes a sex scene like Ben Shapiro.
Oh no.
That's pretty much how.
So, medical and
dry.
A lot of male authors do. Red Rising, same way.
Yeah.
Like a lot of male authors, and honestly, Patrick Rothfuss, I'm gonna get hate for that. Once again, very clinical. I don't know why. It's like they can't write sex scenes very well.
I feel like Brandon can. That shower scene
was good. No, I texted you during that shower scene.
We were all like, okay. I mean, you could fade this at any minute, Brandon. What? There's another page. Oh, okay. And I'm like, I think the fandom wanted that to go on.
Yeah,
I think he could pull off. I don't want him to, but I think he could.
I think we were on the train, and if it would have kept on choo-chooing along, I'd have been riding.
I have derailed the shit out of this. You're welcome.
I mean, thankfully, you got it out of the way now before we got started.
Right, yeah.
So,
I only have the option to ask this question while Lauren is here. So
this is true.
And
I love how you waited till the mics were on.
Ace.
Huh?
You could ask Ace, and he probably
you can ask me.
I bet you he would have bullshitted you an answer.
I'd be like, so Ace, why do you think A Court of Thorns and Roses has not been made into a live adaptation yet? I mean, that money is just sitting on the table.
The state of Hollywood right now, they're really concerned about the best way to approach any kind of new franchise right now, right? So that's why they keep going to the same kind of wells right now. You have your Marvels and your DCs and your Mission Impossibles and your Fast and Furious and whatnot. To break into something new, they're going to make sure that there's an appropriate live action audience for it, right? And that it can translate well from, the books to the big screen or the small screen, whatever it is. And, I can go on.
Yeah, that's probably the other problem, too, is like, that shit's going to be rated R as fuck.
Yeah, I think the audience is there. I don't think that's the problem. I think it is the casting, and I think it's the special effects and the amount of money it would cost to make a whole Valaris. And I think that there's too many things.
It's the same problem with Stormlight. It's like the CGI you would need just to create Roshar is like
you would
absurd,
have to really work to make that money back.
Speaking of, and this is something that'll be very relevant to this podcast, they have completed the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever, and Kevin Smith has actually been screening it. So here's hoping, folks, that Warner Brothers will actually put the shit out in some capacity.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the Schumacher cut, they are actually it's done.
It is done. Like they've put all the stuff back in. They took out like the fucking neon bullshit and all that. And, like, we might actually get to see the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever.
It's crazy they've done it after Joel Schumacher and Val Kilmer passed away.
Yeah.
That would be... I'm down for that. If they release that, I'll watch the hell and review the hell out of it.
I think we are obligated to review that if they...
Yeah, the committee would be very upset if we didn't.
Yes.
But, speaking of that, I have something that's actually tied into that really quickly. And I thought that this was like the highlight of my day. And right now, it's just a rumor, but if it's true, this will make my year. And it is about Peacemaker season 2. Lauren, have you seen Peacemaker?
I have seen a little bit of it. I know John Cena is Peacemaker, yes?
He is.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of it. I haven't sat down and, like, watched all of it or anything, but it's, like, more along the lines of, like, a comedic action, yes?
Yeah, with it does have quite a few drama bits in it as well, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a very good show.
Okay.
They recently released a trailer for season 2, and we talked about that, I think, the last episode we did. And I went back and I rewatched the trailer, and there's a brief shot in that trailer of Michael Rooker. He's from The Walking Dead. Have you seen Walking Dead, Lauren?
That's one I don't like.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, I'm not upset about that.
That one and the drug one, I've tried to watch so many
Breaking
times.
Bad?
Yes. I can only make it through like the first 4 or 5 episodes, and then I literally am just like, why am I wasting my time?
I give you a pass on The Walking Dead because, I'm not that invested.
It's not that great of a show, but...
to refer to Breaking Bad as the drug one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I have seen the first season probably 4 times, and there's a hump I can't get over.
Okay, well, I'm gonna allow that to slide for now.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's only, my favorite TV show of all time, but it's
Is
cool.
it? I'm so sorry. If I would have known, I wouldn't have said that. Like, I would never say
cool.
anything about how I don't love The Shield. I would never say that if I would have known you loved Breaking Bad like that.
I mean, that's just not it's just not a thing you say in pretty much any room. I'm pretty sure Breaking Bad is like the highest rated television show.
Might be.
Period.
It's not boring to y'all. Maybe I just can't get into it. Maybe I don't have a relatable character. Where's the book nerd who, like, is going to come in and save the day? Where's she at?
Well,
No.
The nerd is the lead character.
Yeah.
The one making the meth? I can't relate to him.
That's literally the storyline is he's a nerd. He gets cancer and decides, fuck it, I'm going to become a meth kingpin.
His wife pisses me, though.
Yeah. No. We hate Skylar White. It's like Skylar White, Joffrey Baratheon, Ramsay Bolton, and then there's like a long list, you
don't want to just throat punch her and end the show?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give it another shot. Now that I'm in a different environment, I don't have somebody judging me while I try to watch shows. Maybe now is the time to watch it.
Now it's the time.
No, there's no fate that is bad enough where I'd be like, man, Skylar really didn't deserve that,
She deserved more, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But Marco Rooker is what we were talking about.
Yes.
He is in Peacemaker season 2, and you see him in a brief clip, and he's sitting there, and it looks like some kind of, I don't know. It's hard to exactly depict who he could be in the show.
Is he playing his Suicide Squad character who is dead?
Different character.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Is he Yondu? Because that would be Disney's will be very upset.
They would be. So, like, by looking at him, because when I first saw the trailer, I didn't even recognize it was Michael Rooker. It looks like a Native American. I thought it was a DC character named Apache Chief, old school character who's like in Super Friends, has some comic book appearances. He can grow real big, size manipulation, things like that. But watching the trailer again, I was like, oh no, that's Michael Rooker. So it'd be really weird if they made him a Native American.
Yeah.
I think that they wouldn't allow that.
I don't think they
Not
would
today.
either. And so I went to the world's greatest news source to see who they thought Michael Rooker was, Reddit.
I was saying, what did Reddit think?
And someone on Reddit had the greatest theory, and I pray that it's true. They said, well, no, they brought up some very good points, and then I started to connect some dots, and if this is true, it's the greatest thing ever. The theory right now is that Michael Rooker is actually playing a character who's very well known in the old school Peacemaker comics, a villain of his named Snowflame.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God, James Gunn should do that.
Yes, he should.
So I know we got stuff to get on to, but I'd like you to run down Snowflame's power set for Lauren and the homies real quick.
I would love to see make snow.
He does snow. Snowflame.
Oh my!
Snowflame gets his powers from doing cocaine.
That's amazing.
And he has like mild energy manipulation, mostly like over like ice or water. It gives him like a form of invulnerability. And I mean, he is just balls to the walls. Yeah, coked out of his mind. And I was like,
truly incredible.
Not only is that right up James Gunn's alley, this is canonically speaking a Peacemaker villain. And I'm like, I'm surprised we didn't get this in season 1.
Well, maybe in season 1, back in season 1, he wasn't in charge of DC.
That's true.
Now there's no one to tell him no.
Yeah.
And he can do whatever he wants. Yeah, that would be amazing. Isn't it like that? It's like the higher he gets, the better his powers.
Yes.
Yeah, the more fucked up. Yeah.
So that would be tremendous. If they can pull that off, if they do this, then I'm already going to give it a 10. I don't care if every other episode sucks. If they put Snowflame in this, it's an amazing show.
10 for me.
Yes.
There you go.
Absolutely. So here's the Snowflame.
I know we have been talking about Expedition 33 on the program a little bit. So this coming Monday, I have 2 things on my agenda for my life. Number 1, I'm going to come on here with you and we're going to review The Last of Us Season 2, Part 2. And the whole rest of my day is going to be spent playing Expedition 33. I am officially starting it on Monday.
Nice.
So I am hyped about that.
I am also off that Monday, so I might actually have some time to get back into it.
I am off that Monday, and we'll be playing this little-known video game. You guys may have never heard of it.
Tetris.
I think I just discovered it recently. If you haven't played it, homies, you gotta jump on the train. It's called Baldur's Gate 3. I'm a little behind, I think. However, it is phenomenal, and I might be a crack addict.
That's the normal response.
Yeah.
Seriously, I literally last night was like, itching. The person who I'm playing with, I was like, hey, do you have time to play tonight? They were like unconscious for like 12 hours, and they woke up to just me literally like fiending for Baldur's Gate 3.
Well, here's what's going to happen. You're going to start up a solo file.
That's what they told me to do.
And play it by yourself when you can't play with that person. And then when that person can play, you're going to switch to the player you play with them. That's very, very common.
That is probably going to happen during MomoCon because I cannot go like a week without playing. Are you freaking crazy?
There's probably also like maybe I don't know, like at least 3 or 4 different times. Myself, the homie Oz, Ace here, the homie Dylan, all 4 of us just piled up and like started a brand new game and played shit for like 8-9 hours, and then we never played it again. And we've done that several times.
It's such a great game, and I've reached a point now where like I started playing, just experimenting with random mods, and I'm playing through a playthrough right now with 2 of my homies, the homie Kevin and the homie Tame. And I chose a subclass that just seemed really intriguing called the Cosmic Sorcerer. And we're playing with the level 20 mod, so we can level all the way up to level 20. And I decided, I'm not going to multi-class. I'm just going to go straight through level 20 Cosmic Sorcerer. I did. At level, you get some crazy shit, first of all. At level 19, you get something called Supernova, I believe. And how Gale, if you don't feed him, what happens? Yeah. That's what Supernova is.
Yeah, don't spoil it because Gale's my boo thing.
Yeah, I will not spoil that for you. But Supernova is all right, well, I know what that is now. But then at level 20, you get something, an ability that it says you can only use it one time. And it doesn't specify, it doesn't give you a whole lot of details as to what it is. But I'm like, well, I have to do this. So I made Kevin quick save before I did it. Hit level 20, activated the ability. My character levitates, starts to change colors, and this cosmic energy swirls around him, and he becomes a demigod.
Oh my god!
Yeah. His AC, I think, was 67.
Oh my god.
He gets 2 actions and 2 bonus actions per turn. And he has double resistance to everything.
You have to save that for like a Raphael fight or like the end.
Yeah.
That's pretty fantastic. Yeah. This is the first time I've ever played a game of this caliber, you know what I mean? With this much like action and I guess, what's the word? Combat. You know what I mean? Because I'm a cozy gamer, so I've got about 1,000 hours in Animal Crossing New Horizon. I played a lot of like the cooking games. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've never played. I've dabbled in WoW. Okay, but I'm talking like I keep remaking characters because by level 5 or 6 I don't want to play anymore because things can kill me and it's no fun and I want to go back to being like a level 1 shooting wolves. Okay,
well, things can kill the shit out of you in Baldur's Gate too.
I have yet, I don't know, I've got a really good person playing with me and so I have yet to even be close to fearing that. I mean,
are you playing your character and Oz is playing the other 3 characters?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Well, you should be fine.
I recently took over Gale, though, because I found out he won't sleep with me if I don't have control of him. And so I was like, you have to give me Gale. And he was like, really? Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I have to have control of Gale. I apologize. But yeah, for a while, he was very much, I was just clicking and following, and then I would take my turn, and he was running everything else.
Yeah.
Just the way I like it.
That's not a bad call. What kind of character are you playing?
So I am playing a half-elf ranger. Because I am definitely a distance fighter. I remembered from my WoW days, like Archer or Spellcaster. Like, I do not want to be right on top of the bad and shanking him. Like, that's not how I would fight in real life. Like, I would 100% be, like, a crossbow girl.
Got it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you don't have to worry about getting killed, at least not in the first 2 acts, probably. Mainly because I have actually never known Oz to turn up the difficulty on any game past normal. But
We're playing on Explorer.
Yeah. I figured that too. In which, like, just so you know, on Explorer, I think you have double HP.
Oh, yeah.
And all the enemies have half of what they normally would have.
That sounds about like my speed.
Yeah, this is the only game I have ever known Oz in his life to turn the difficulty up past normal because he normally plays on Tactician. And I'm like, wow, okay. So, yeah, you're in good hands.
That is not like Oz at all, actually.
No, actually, it's not. He has played on Tactician with no mods.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I was very, like, flabbergasted by that. I was like, what? You don't do that.
Yeah.
No, he's a fantastic, anything to do with D&D. Like, that's the person you want holding your hand. I had to FaceTime him to help do my character sheet because I was like, now hold on. Because I didn't want to bother you. And I knew he was...
I'm the DM. It's my job.
He was available. So I was like, let me go on and FaceTime him. And he helped me fill out my sheet. And then he got so, like, into what my character was building. He was like, I'm going to play at this table. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen, actually. So that's all good to me.
But he won't tell me anything about his character.
No, he shouldn't. Yeah. Yeah.
Anywho.
Well, with that being said, we do have an episode here.
Oh, yeah, we watched a thing.
We do actually have a topic of discussion.
Tonight, folks, we are going to be wrapping up our coverage of Andor Season 2 and really the show as a whole. And, I mean, we are sad to see it go, but here we are. We were actually talking a little bit about, like, Breaking Bad earlier with the IMDb ratings and stuff like that. And Andor Season 2 actually has a record that no other show has. It has 5 consecutive episodes that are rated by viewers, not critics, because fuck them, at above a 9.5.
Damn.
And that is 7, 8, 9, or no. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 were all 9.5 or higher, with the highest being 8 and 9, and those were like a 9.8 and a 9.9.
Yeah.
Te amo, Andor Season 2.
You're gonna have to.
Is this the start of your Spanish?
Yeah, I told you. I downloaded it last week.
Yeah.
You got time.
Yeah, you got time.
Just in case Diego Luna is watching, I'm sure he watches lots of Andor review content. I'm learning Spanish just in case you show up at DragonCon.
I'm certain that he does not. I think introductions are in order, though, before we get into it.
They are in order. Homies, one and all, allow me to welcome you back to a very special episode of the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and as always, I am here with the man who actually found the plans to the Death Star. I'm talking about none other than he actually helped make it willingly. They didn't have to force his hand or anything. I'm talking about the homie Caleb.
What's going on, everybody? I'm the Star Wars person. Last time we did this, I just kept spouting off random shit that they had to Google, and because they thought I was bullshitting them. I'm probably gonna do some more of that tonight, but we'll see how it goes.
You can't blame us for thinking that you of all people would bullshit us.
Oh, I wasn't blaming anybody. I was just giving a historical recollection of things that took place.
All right. And of course, we have here the leader of the Diego Luna fan club.
Mi nombre es Lauren from Coffee and Lore.
The homie Lauren from Coffee and Lore. If you guys didn't quite catch that because it was in Spanish.
Yes. See.
What a show we have tonight. Oh.
The whole reason for this is Diego Luna went on a Brittany Broski's court show, which is a show I never ever thought he would go on to be interviewed. And she spoke Spanish to him, like fluent Spanish, and he was like insanely freaking impressed with it. Insanely impressed. So I figured if I meet him and I speak really fluent Spanish in the next 3 months, he'll also be really impressed with me.
That's perfect logic.
I do just want to outline here. I used to live in Atlanta. You will not be the only person there that speaks Spanish.
Well, damn.
Maybe you'll be the only one who thinks of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, maybe nobody else is on Duolingo as we speak.
Maybe if you tell him that you learned Spanish
To
just
talk to
so
him,
you could meet him,
that's my in.
and he'd be impressed by it.
We have kids the same age. It's my in, man.
And then you're like, ¿Cómo estás?
Yeah.
Muy bien, gracias.
Yeah, and like I do want you to know that like they do have security at Dragon Con, and they might tase you based on his reaction.
You do have so like when I shot my shot at Elodie Young, she had this handler, and this guy was stone faced the whole time. And she asked me, so I got her to sign that plaque out there, the same plaque that Charlie Cox signed, and that also John Bernthal was supposed to sign, but he wasn't there. I'm not mad about it. But when she signed that for me, she goes, "Oh, this is incredible. This is wonderful. Is there anything else you would like for me to sign?" And I said, "Yeah, you can sign your number on this piece of paper." And she was taken aback. And her handler, who was stone-faced, dies laughing.
That's amazing. See, that's the reaction you want when you shoot your shot. Because 90% of the time, I feel like the actual famous person is going to not know what to say because it probably doesn't happen as often as you would think it happens. But the, like, normal people around them who witness all of their interactions are going to be like, that was amazing.
Yeah, I was actually Mick Foley's handler at an event one time.
Shut up.
No, really. Yeah, we did this Legends of...
Ace's face means he's never heard this before.
You really don't know about this?
No.
Oh, wow, okay. So, all right, so they had this Legends of Wrestling thing.
I remember, because it was in, like, what, 2018, 2019?
Yeah, and they rented Viral Pro's ring, and this is when I was booking for them. Yeah. And so I was like, well, fuck yeah, I want to go to that. So they rented our ring for the event, and so, like, we all got to go and, like, work security and all this stuff at it, and, like, different people got assigned to some of the tables. And I wanted Eric Bischoff, but I was like, no, because I'll fangirl all day because I love Eric Bischoff. And so I ended up getting Mick Foley. And so I have literally taken about 2,000 photos of Mick Foley because, like, that's part of your thing is, like, if somebody wants to take the photo, you take their phone and I helped him with his iPhone, which is crazy because I don't know anything about a phone. But somehow that man's phone was on like 13% all fucking day. He would keep plugging it in and then... Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, like I got to be Mick Foley's handler, and yeah, people say some wild shit. There was this girl. This is like I am rabbit holing the fuck out of us here. That he had met when they did the Iraq stuff, you know, back in the day, like the tour for the troops. Mm-hmm. there was this girl that he met in the hospital. She was like she was an MP actually, and she had gotten injured. And, you know, so like that was one of the things, like the wrestlers would go to like the hospital over there.
Right.
And like that's where he had met her. And so she came through his line and he remembered her. And he like got up while he's got a line of like 800 people. He got up and took her personally to meet all the different people and like got them to sign stuff for her and everything.
How cool is that?
Yeah, and it was really cool. And like I just stood there awkwardly as fuck though, because I was like, yeah, I know you guys have been waiting like all day.
Mr. Foley will be back shortly.
I feel like you guys knew what you were getting, you know.
Have a nice day.
I don't know how we haven't talked about this.
Yeah, that never came up.
Yeah, I hung out with Mick Foley for a whole fucking day.
Yeah, I feel like you're in alternate dimension, Caleb. And like your Caleb is exactly the same as like the one that I'm used to, except for that one experience.
That one thing?
Yeah.
That Caleb is buried in my backyard.
Oh shit! Oh,
I ruined my dimension and had to come.
He had to come here.
Had to come here.
Understand.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, full spoilers for probably all of Star Wars for this.
Yeah.
I there's nothing that can be considered safe. We will not be spoiling Skeleton Crew because I haven't seen it, and I probably won't watch it. It's not for me.
I've heard it's not horrible, but I just haven't seen it.
I mean, you know.
That's about the standard you can hold something like that to, is I've heard it's not horrible.
Yeah, I mean...
So if I ask you about anything and your response is, it's not horrible, that tells me I need to stay away from it.
Yeah.
How's the new burger joint? It's not horrible.
Yeah.
I won't be spending my money there.
Yeah, I've heard that it's like a fun adventure, but it also has kid actors in it. So they tried to do like Space Stranger Things, basically. And... I mean, I'm sure that it's a thing people like. It's not for me, and that's okay. I mean,
I've heard it's good for the younger crowd. It's very like the animated shows. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like trying to pull in the new generation.
Well, and they need something for that because I'm gonna tell you now, today's youth do not give a single fuck about 7, 8, and 9. Like when I go to conventions, I still see more Leias than I see Reys. On a regular basis. Every now and then, you will see a very young girl dressed as a Rey. Mm-hmm. But, like, you don't really see, like, people in, like, their 20s or whatever, you know, dressed up as Rey.
Sophia dressed as Rey for the Disney cruise, but this was only after 7. 8 and 9 were not a thing yet.
Right.
And I got her a Rey costume for the Disney cruise.
Oh, back then you saw a lot of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying now at conventions.
Yeah, no. A full-grown woman as a Rey.
You might see 2 at Dragon Con, maybe.
Nice.
Yeah. But there will be like a Leia photo shoot, you know.
I'm hoping I can get in on that SJM photo shoot if my cosplay comes together.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be big. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, so Andor, I know that at least 2 of us also watched Rogue One. Did you have a chance to peek that as well?
I watched about half of it.
Okay.
It changed both of our opinions vastly differently.
Yeah. My opinion is damn near 180'd from when I watched it the very first time.
And my opinion hasn't 180'd. However, it has gone in the other direction. And then I'm like, I thought this was really good. Andor is really good. This is kind of crap.
Well, see, I don't think Rogue One is crap, but I think Jyn Erso is terrible.
That's where I was at.
Yeah. Like, the character of Jyn was never that good to begin with. Like, it was always just, okay, this kind of out of nowhere. Like, it's almost the same problems that Rey has, except she didn't get to be around long enough. Yeah. Because it's like, Jyn is simultaneously depressed with daddy issues, but also like incredibly hopeful. She's been in the rebellion for 20 minutes, but cares more about it than people who have been in it forever, supposedly. She can do just about anything as far as like combat and shit like that. Like we see her in that like special forces suit where she's got like the batons or the swords or whatever. And we're like, where did you learn how to use these? Like, you know. And I don't know. It's not as bad as Rey, but and it's not necessarily that she's so much of a Mary Sue as it is that she's just a walking like plot device.
That part, yeah, I had the exact same feelings. I only seen the first hour and 15 minutes. I watched yesterday, and that was kind of what I walked away feeling as well with that character. But also, like, to your point, Lauren, like, after watching Andor and then watching Rogue One, even like the parts that don't exactly pertain to Jen, it's like, man, like, this is
The pilot was weird to me.
Bodhi?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if the acting was off or if it was just, like, not a cast I would have made. I don't know. There's just something where I was watching it and I was like, I don't remember this guy. I don't like this guy. Like,
I'll be honest. I think for me, like, Andor has conditioned me to a degree, and so watching this, the score didn't gel with me.
Yeah. Well, it gels when the John Williams bits kick in, you know. But like the stuff they made specifically for this, yeah, most of the score doesn't exactly hit. There's a couple times where I thought it was good, but there's a lot of times where like the music swells and you're just like, I don't know.
Yeah, but I noticed the music immediately in a lot of those moments, and not in a good way. Like the music is swelling because they want me to feel some type of way, and I'm like, the scene should be able to do that, and music should just, kind of put the exclamation point on it. It shouldn't be the thing that gets me to feel.
Cassian in the ending carried that movie for me.
On rewatch now, and especially after seeing Andor season 1, 2, like, I care about Cassian more than probably the rest of the film and K2SO.
Yeah.
I will say I didn't even remember K2SO that much from my watch through 5 years ago. I did notice more, like, I was excited about K2SO in the Rogue One movie.
Oh, I would hate to think if Alan Tudyk isn't in this movie, like, because there's parts where like K2SO basically carries the shit. I mean,
yeah, he from what I have seen of it again, he's probably my favorite character in the movie, honestly.
Yeah, it's like him and Cassian, and then probably Krennic. I love Krennic.
Krennic is good.
And then it's probably like Darth Vader.
Darth is up there.
And then it starts to fall off after that. Like, so a lot of people really liked
Donnie
Maze Bulbous, which is the guy with like the big Gatling gun. And then what's Donnie Yen's character? Chirrut Umwe is his name.
How do you pull these names out of your ass?
I just
he could just be making it up.
I'm not
He really could be.
I'm not Google it. I'm not he like a lot of people really liked them, and I thought they were okay, but like, the movie's not like about them. They're just kind of side characters. The whole like idea of like a blind kind of like Force monk is cool, Well,
he plays the same character again in John Wick 4.
Yeah. May the plot be with you.
But the thing is, like, the thing I love the most about Andor is that it wasn't so Force focused, and one kind of just like yucked that with that character.
Well, I was fine with it in that movie. I just I don't know. I thought that there was just a lot. Like, I mean, obviously I really like Mon, but she's barely in the movie.
She's barely in it.
Like, her bits make way more sense if you've seen Andor than they.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's a lot of that movie that makes way more sense if you've seen Andor. K2SO would just be a freaking, like, goofy robot, if not, you know what I mean?
Well, the main thing that I really appreciate about how they did the show is, like, if you could watch it all right now, and, like, if you don't know that Rogue One came out 10 years ago, you would believe that they made it after, Like, don't get me wrong, it is definitely tonally way different.
Yes.
But everything flows super well from the end of season 2 of Andor right into that movie. And, I mean, for the most part, everybody looks the same. I mean, the aesthetic is the same. I mean, he flies off from Yavin at the end of season 2 of Andor, and then when he gets back to Yavin in Rogue One, it looks exactly the fucking same. Like, Mon looks the same. Like,
I will say this, like, the movie was really fucking dark. I mean, like visually,
It was,
dark.
yeah.
I'm like, God damn.
It was very dark, and it's also the fucking pacing is kind of crazy.
It kind of is from what I've seen. Yeah.
Like, it's not awful, but like, I don't know. It's very like haphazard kind of the pacing. It's like we'll linger here for like way too fucking long.
Yeah,
and then it's like boom, 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 and then it's back to the linger. And then they'll be like, when they first get to Scarif, there's a whole action section that bores the shit out of me, and I don't know why. I'm not really sure, because like I like the stuff that Jen and Cassian and K2SO are doing, but like all the battle scenes on the beach, I don't really like them until the AT-ATs come in and the Rebel fleet shows up. Now, I will say this about Rogue One. It has the best fucking space battle
It does.
of any of Star Wars. Like, it, to me, holds the crown on that.
So my best friend's partner has only ever seen the 70s Star Wars. So episodes 4, 5, and 6.
It's not a bad choice.
Yeah.
And so I went to their house and made them dinner like a few nights after seeing Andor season 2 finale. And I was still kind of on that high. And, you know, we always get to the conversation where we're sitting at the couch after dinner and we're like, so what are you watching? What are you playing? What are you doing? And I'm like, I just finished Andor season 2. And they were like, and who? And I'm like, Andor. So I recommended them to just watch season 1, season 2, Rogue One, and then go into episode 4. And he was like, I'm going to do it. He was like, do I need to have seen 1 through 3? And I'm like, you know what? I think if you go into it with an open mind and don't be like, who the fuck is this? And who the fuck is that? Like, if you just watch, you'll enjoy it.
Well, Andor season 1 does a good job of like establishing all the
Setting
characters.
up. Exactly.
It may take too long doing that, actually.
I was gonna say, I hope you told them to be patient when they start season 1.
I did. I
gotta
told them
do that with
that, and I
everybody.
told them, like I said, there's going to be characters where you're gonna be like, I don't know who the fuck that is. And people, like, it's obvious that they're supposed to get a pop or something. Just ride the train, and they'll explain who it is.
That definitely happened with me with Melcy, and like I'm like,
Yes!
if I didn't get that shit, then the casuals are definitely
I
not going to get it.
texted you, in
We're talking
fact.
from like episode 9.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I
where
was
Bell's like, "Who's this belong to?"
who
He's
did
like, "That's
we
me."
zoom
And the music
in?
swells.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
And I'm like,
uh,
should I text Caleb? Like, do I?
and then I had to Google
I
it,
did.
and then I was like, "Oh, it's Melcy." Okay, I knew who he was once they said that, but like his face isn't like ingrained into my brain or whatever.
And I feel like they expected it to be by the way they handled that scene.
You spend more time with Melcy in episodes 11 and 12 than you do in all the rest of Star Wars.
No, absolutely. It was almost like they like zoomed in and Anakin's face was gonna be right there. And like that's the way they treated it.
Whose gun is this? Hayden Chris is like, it's mine. Oh,
Oh, everybody's
fuck! You guys are all dead.
Oh, fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I will say, though, there's a couple things in Rogue One that are still amazing. The space battle is one.
Yes.
Fucking Admiral Raddus and the Rebel fleet showing up against orders, right? And being like, fuck you guys, we're going to help them. And, like, that shit was just amazingly shot, right? Where they have the couple squadrons that get through the shield and, like, come down there on the beach and they're fucking up the Empire. You're just like, okay, like, this is a war, you know? It's called Star Wars. Like, okay, let's see a fucking war. And here we are.
But the Vader scene, I mean,
Both of them
Yeah.
are incredible for different reasons. I love him in the fucking back to tank in the castle and all this other shit. And then obviously the scene at the end.
Yes, where you just see the lightsaber light up and then he's just murking dudes,
yeah, and it's
choking
like,
them.
and here's the thing, right, about that scene. It does what it's supposed to do. The problem is it does it too well. Like, it's too cool and it's too badass. And if you haven't seen Andor, especially, and you just watch Rogue One, I already am not that invested in any of you guys.
Right.
And then I see Vader show up, and he's just as badass as he's ever been. And I'm like, how am I supposed to not cheer for this right now?
I did. Like, when I watched it originally, I even cheered for Tarkin blowing them all up. Because I was like, the rebels in this are a bunch of bitches. The only cool person in the rebels, like, I obviously already knew, like, Senator Organa and Mon Mothma, right? I was already familiar with them. And then the only rebels in this that are fucking cool is Admiral Goddamn Radis up in the ship. Mm-hmm. You know, he was awesome. He was like, well, fuck him. We're gonna go fight the Empire. That's what we're here to do, bitches. Like, and then the whole thing where he like they disable the Star Destroyer and then knock it into the other one was so badass. You know, he was like, y'all said we got to get the gate open, so we got the gate open. I loved all of that, but like everybody else, I was like, man, fuck them.
Yeah.
No one of y'all was about to lose. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Talk about cheering for Vader. Come on. Like,
Yeah.
that was me all of episode 2 and 3. So I definitely get it. If I wasn't such a Diego Luna fan, I probably don't think that Cassian would have spoke to me as much.
I never cared about Cassian until this show.
See, no, from Rogue One, I loved Cassian. And I think it's because he was like the first, Latin space boy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it was pre-Pedro, pre the other guys. And I just never thought I'd see it. You know what I mean? I knew who he was from a bunch of other stuff that he had done. And so when he was casted as this character, or I think the first time I knew about it, because I wasn't like, in the interwebs with Star Wars stuff, was seeing a trailer for Rogue One. And I was like, I'm sorry, that's Diego Luna in a Star Wars movie. Like, this was made for me. My expectations were up here. So that's why he's always spoke to me, even from Rogue One. But he's definitely the best part of Rogue One. And after watching Andor, it's like, oh God, this movie isn't as good as I thought it was. I think I was just literally kind of riding the Cassian train.
Well, he never made sense to me as a character. Like, now, it's like, yeah, you can see why they're like, he's the guy, like, we have to send this dude to do the thing.
Yeah.
And we'll give him the orders that we, are kind of shady or whatever. And, like, Cassian's going to fucking get it done. Like, it has to be him. Like, that makes so much sense now that you've seen the show. But when they originally I could not. I gave a shit less about him than the entire Rebel crew, probably. Like, I just did not care about Cassian at all. There's no chemistry between him and Jyn in this.
It feels very forced.
As a matter of fact,
I didn't even do it on purpose.
As a matter of fact, there's one scene in the movie where it's like after he got the order, she finds out he got the orders to assassinate her dad, and he like didn't pull the trigger or whatever. And I'm trying to remember the line she said to him, she says something to him about us. So you just following orders or whatever, and he's just like, oh, this is suddenly real to you, and he's like, you're not the only one who lost everything.
Yeah.
Yes,
that shit fucking hit.
That was the line that hit so much.
And I was just like, you can slap the shit out of her. It's fine. Like, because she just comes across as so like entitled right there,
Like, she's the only one who has any crumb of grief.
Yeah.
Of what's been happening. Yeah.
When he's literally lost absolutely everything.
And when they get to Yavin and you see Cassian and Mon standing there over the monitor or whatever.
So freaking good.
And you're just like, now that you know how we got there from where we were at the beginning of season 1, where they were worlds apart. These two characters were rarely on the same planet, much less in the same room, And I think it's incredible storytelling, but it definitely goes in, like, it points out, like, there's parts of Rogue One that it makes better, and there's definitely parts of it that it makes worse. Mm-hmm. So, I think Krennic is, like, reliably just perfect as an Imperial officer.
Oh, gosh, I forget the actor's name all the time.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah. You can tell he's just having a blast playing Krennic. Like, whether it be Rogue One or Andor, like, he has so much fun with his character.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he kills it. I even like the creepy recreation of Tarkin. The CGI is a little weird, but it's not awful.
Yeah, it's especially, like, I mean, if you're really aware that that actor had passed, it is a little uncanny valley-ish, at times. Yeah. But they do good enough with it so that it's passable.
The Leia looks really good.
The Leia in Rogue One is really good.
But, like, as we've said, like, that is her daughter that they CGI'd the face on, so Like that's why it looks considerably better. Yeah. I would actually be completely fine with if they do this Edge of the Empire movie of them just having her daughter play the character. I mean,
yeah, and it's so what she looks slightly different. Like it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, she was in The Last Jedi. Actually, she has a very minor role in that movie. That actually might be the only excitement I had during the whole movie. I was like, oh, hey, that's Carrie Fisher's kid. And then I went back to my melancholy state. So let's get into these episodes. Enough about Rogue One. So, I mean, coming out of episode 9, right, like we all were like, we're not really sure what they're going to do here. And I think that raised the hype for me for this last chapter.
Absolutely.
And here we are. They did not waste any time. I think in the first 10 minutes, we get the Luthen and Young scene in the park, which like just kind of reminds you that Luthen, holy fuck, man.
He gave 0 fucks. Like he would murk anybody for the rebellion.
Yeah, I mean, Young tells him like, hey, I had Miro's, access codes for like a year. I got into her stuff. I found this. Like, you have to warn the rebellion or whatever. And Luthen's like, where he fucked up at is telling Luthen that he was compromised. Like, they were going to find out he did it. Yep. And at that point, Luthen's like, well, I can't risk them torturing this out of you.
Yep.
And so Luthen murks him. And then within
lies to him.
Yeah. Lies to him, kills him. And within 5 minutes, we now have Daedra Miro standing across from Luthen in the shop. Yeah. And I'm just sitting there like, nothing could have pulled me away from my screen.
No. There could have been a tornado.
Yeah. I'd have been like, wait a minute.
And Luthen, he's keeping up the facade like, until there's no denying what's going on.
Until she pulls the weapon out.
The Starpath unit, yeah. From episode 1 of Andor season 1.
Yep. And it's like, holy shit, we took a long time to get here. And I think that's why they picked that thing for her to pull out.
And I mean, I love the exchange between the two of them. The writing here was so solid.
Yes. I love Stellan Skarsgård's character. Like, he does so good at Luthen in this show. I've seen him in other things and just been like, it's good. It's good. But this really was the first time I've been like, oh, fuck, that is Stellan Skarsgård.
For me, like this, Dune, and Chernobyl, all three.
I haven't seen Chernobyl, but he's really good in Dune.
You could watch like the first episode or so. I think there's only like the one episode that you'd have to skip.
If you're fine with like existential crisis, then Chernobyl.
I don't want that. Show. No, I'm not fine with that. That's actually what I avoid. And if it starts happening, like in a book, I get pissed because I'm like, that's not what was advertised.
Well, this is what was advertised because it's straight up like, hey, just want you to know that these couple folks. Well, it's actually more than a couple, but these people literally almost ruined our planet. Period. Like,
what year did that happen?
Oh boy,
80s, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, did I live in the same continent at that time?
It's possible.
I would have been too young to remember living on that continent.
Because I mean, the radiation was detectable in Germany.
I know. I can't donate blood. For multiple 86. reasons. Okay, I was not there yet. I got there in 87, buddy. I missed that shit by a year.
Not the fallout.
No. But yeah, I can't donate blood. Mad cow disease was rampant in Germany from 85 until 95.
And so if you just lived there, you just can't...
Yeah, you can't donate blood. I have tried so many times.
That's crazy.
Why are you trying to give away your tainted blood?
Well, first of all, because they always tell me, somebody from Shepherd Blood will be, trying to pull people to go to the van outside, and they're always like, Oh, I think that's not a thing anymore. Come with me. And every God blessed time, the second I get to the actual medical personnel, they're like, did you ever live in Europe in the years of 1985 to 1995? And I'm like, hell yeah, almost all of them. They're like, ma'am, no. And I'm like, I tried to tell the bitch, can I still get my sandwich?
I was saying, at Dragon Con, they are going to try to get you to donate so you can get the T-shirt.
I want the T-shirt. I would do it.
They have a special shirt every year that you can only get.
You know what? I'm going to try again.
You going to try?
I'm going to be like, listen.
Oh, negative blood. The fucks won't leave me alone.
You have negative blood? Yeah, man, you're definitely on the zombie apocalypse team now. If you weren't before. I just got done watching, I got Kay hooked on The Pit.
Oh my God, it's so good. Have you seen it, Ace?
Not yet.
We watched 7 hours straight yesterday.
Gee.
And,
it's one of my favorite shows right now.
Yeah, man, that Oneg blood, that's the good stuff. I bet the vampires really like it.
Oh, dude, geez. That Black Dagger Brotherhood trailer.
Nope.
I'm going to send it to y'all in the group chat. And I just want y'all to watch it. We might watch it after this goes off the air.
Oh, dear.
Takes 2 minutes.
Okay. Alrighty. Anyway, episode 10. What did you guys think about the plot here with Luthen?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I would have found a different way besides using that old school dagger.
Oh my God.
That just seemed awful. I get it. I do. But also, I feel like if you had she had a taser. She had a stun gun. She didn't have an actual
blaster. No, I don't think she had one.
Which is unfortunate.
I would have. Luthen had to have a blaster on him.
That's something.
I'd have shot myself in the head or whatever.
Yeah, man.
The second she walked in there, I probably would have pew-pewed.
Yeah, because like what he chose to do instead was brutal.
I can only guess that he must not have had a blaster on him, because if he did, he probably would have shot her and himself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. So he probably didn't have an escape plan, and he saw that rusty, dusty dagger, and he was like, this will do the trick.
and the thing about this is, Daedra, if she had been... I can't remember the name of the other guy that's like actually supposed to be on the Axis case, but this guy probably would have just stunned his ass right off the rip.
Yeah.
But Daedra had to gloat.
She had to.
Had to get the last word.
She had been building up to this for years. She goes real Vic Mackey here, actually, and just does this off the cuff bullshit. Except, unlike Vic Mackey, the shit didn't work, and like she just fucked this all the way up, and to the point where, it doesn't go well for her. But she had to have this moment that she had been dreaming of in her head for all these years. And there's no telling how, like, Cyril's death has affected her, too.
Yeah.
It seems like it just has made her more reckless and also, like, more hardened and more focused on her job, you know?
And that's what I think. That's what I thought his death would do for her anyway. Like, I never thought that it would soften her like it would some people.
No.
Yeah. But no, she absolutely had to have this moment to gloat and to boast and I got you and... You know, I had this whole place surrounded, and don't try anything. I got this stun gun, and then like he stabs himself, and she's like, "Shit, fuck, damn, no." And then like she's like, "That's somebody cooking stuff." Oh, and she looked back and she sees that the computer system that he had poured that acid onto, and now she's like, "Doubly shit, fuck, damn, no." And so she was. She went from being on cloud 9 to
arrestitized real quick.
Yeah.
And it felt good to see her arrested. I wouldn't have minded if they'd have tortured her a little bit.
We don't know that they.
That's true.
Didn't.
But seeing Krennic just dress her down the way that he did was also satisfying.
Yes. Like, all of his dialogue here in the show really is incredible, but I love, I think my favorite part of this where he says, the rebellion's not here anymore, it flew away. I loved that line.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. That was a great line because it literally did.
Yeah.
Like, he sent it away. He got everybody else out.
Right.
And
except for Homegirl. So, what's her name?
Who?
Clea.
Clea,
Who's the one
thank
that got
you.
out, yeah. Her line here, she says, "I have dreamt of this, too many versions to remember, and here you were all that time, hiding in the shelter of imperial peace and quiet." And Luthen says, "And I've known you all along. Hardly seems fair." Fucking love that.
Yeah.
So good.
Comeback
Oh
of
my
the
gosh.
galactic century.
Yeah, literally. He was like, "Oh, you want the last word? You're not getting it."
He's like, "I've been on who you are. Like He's like, "You're fucking terrible at your job, lady."
That's kind of how we felt with the Andor fight in the episode 8 or 9. Yeah, 8.
With Cyril,
Yeah, where he was like, he knew who he was this whole time, and poor Andor is fighting this for his life, and it's a theme almost.
As far as Cassian knows, he just got assaulted by some fucking meth head.
That's some crazy.
Right. Fucking.
Who the fuck are you, dude? Yeah, I mean it's very similar here, where it's kind of flipped.
It was the opposite of your hug with our friend at the D&D table yesterday.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I knew it was gonna come up in
It
this
was kind of
damn
the same
show.
shit, but
I-
if instead of hugging the stranger, if you just attacked them, and Billy was like,
Right? If me and Dylan had some beef or something, I just walked up and walloped him.
Who are you? Oh my god.
she hugged a random person yesterday. That's why we bring.
Yeah, that she didn't know. Yeah.
They look exactly alike.
In a room full of people that she did know, which is the best place to hug someone you don't know.
It was real, and not a peep was said. That was the thing that really blew my mind. If anyone would have reacted, I would have immediately known I fucked up. I didn't fuck up or know I fucked up until 2 minutes later when I made eye contact with the person I thought I hugged, and he wasn't sitting where he was supposed to.
Wait a minute. It was amazing, folks. You had to be there. We're jumping around a little bit here, but I think we all suspected that Daedra was going to die. That was going to be her fate. Mm-hmm. But I think I actually like what they did even more.
Was that like a prison we see her in at the end?
Yeah, it was.
Like with the bunk beds?
It's exactly like the one in Narkina 5 that Cassian was in.
I thought so. God, that was one of my favorite episodes of season 1.
So even as like Luke and them are bringing down the Empire, she is stuck there sucking that food through the hose,
the food tube,
through the food tube, and maybe she got the flavor that day, and maybe not.
Yeah, maybe she got the apple cinnamon flavor with it.
You know that goop has got to be just awful.
Oh, because there's just old clogged up food goop that's stuck up in there.
Okay, Lauren has a constitution of 1, guys. Uno, constitution over here.
And you watched The Pit?
Yeah, I fast forward a lot.
Oh, okay.
I love that show.
Oh, okay.
That's why I told you it's not like a normal show I would like.
No,
because
it's
I don't
neither,
watch.
yeah.
I have death anxiety and I have a 0 constitution.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
don't
terrible.
watch those kind of shows. That's
Same.
how good it fucking is.
Yeah.
Hell of a combination to have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have the Constitution problems, but it's also not my type of show normally. But like sometimes something is just so well done.
Oh my gosh.
That
The girl we like so much. She's our favorite resident.
Bryan Cranston's daughter, Mel. Yeah,
Mel is my favorite resident on that show. She might be one of my favorite characters.
I really should
come in
learn
a
her
really
actual
long time.
name and just
I
not call her
know.
Bryan Cranston's kid.
Now, Bryan Cranston was Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Damn it! I really have to watch that show now.
yeah, because like he has passed on his ability to act through his DNA. That's really impressive.
She is so good in it.
Sometimes
so
you're
good.
just that fucking good.
Like, she plays a character that's got a lot of quirks, dude, and she nails every single one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, she's really good. Anyway, this is not the Pit review.
No, it's not, but we should do that when Ace watches it.
I would be up for it. We have to do it as one review though, because
Yes, y'all are booked, I know.
that show is not made to like stop watching it.
No, because every episode's 1 hour of a shift,
Yeah.
and then like one season's a shift.
And like the way that they, you remember like when Netflix first came out and they used to release the whole show at one time, and they still do that. But like in the beginning when they first started doing that shit was like super designed to keep you glued to it. Like,
Yes.
the shit would end just like in the middle of a scene, and you would get the other half of that scene in the next episode. The Pit is like that all the way through. Like they do that shit the whole fucking time. Yeah.
Yeah, and Last Kingdom was like that for me. I
guess
freaking would binge the whole season when it would drop. And
I would binge it
wouldn't
too, but I wouldn't say that show is made that way like this is.
No, not for like those kind of cliffhangers. But
Yeah.
they dropped the whole season, and I would literally go sleepless that whole night.
You would really like that show, but I've told you that a few times.
Yeah.
The Last Kingdom. Oh
yeah.
my god, you would really. It's one of my top 5 favorite shows ever.
You know, Breaking Bad is my number one show of all time.
If you watch The Last Kingdom, I'm gonna watch Breaking Bad.
Oh, here we have it, folks. We have a gauntlet that's been thrown down.
It has been dropped.
Right here on the Andor season 2 review.
And I will not stop it when I get bored. I will push through.
Ace will remember that.
Okay.
All righty. Well, we have it. You guys are all bared witness. And I will rewatch both of these shows.
There you go.
Anyway, but yeah, I thought her ending up in the Imperial prison
So justified.
where she
so
has
good.
sent countless people for no reason was probably a better thing. Like, honestly, the death toll on this show was way less than I thought it was going to be ultimately.
Well, because all the death happens in Rogue One.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But how many times a day do you think she thinks about Cyril in that prison?
Oh, now probably,
Probably every day.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like
that's-
every freaking hour, her mind is like, "Fuck, I really did him wrong."
And also, too, with, like, she finally got access, and not only did he just, like, dress her down, like, hey, no, you didn't get me. like, I've been sitting here watching you run around trying to get me for years.
In your backyard.
Yeah, and then he got the last laugh.
Yep.
Yeah, because he tells her that she's dead. He's dead, right? She kind of suspects it by all the hubbub going on, and then he comes in and he tells her, like, Luthen's like they killed him because she was trying to keep him alive.
I really love this whole episode with Clea, and actually,
Yes.
we thought we were going to get some Luthen backstory, but really what we get is actually Clea's backstory.
Yeah, I was so pumped about. I'm just glad we got anybody's backstory that I was like wanting more of. A little bit of Luthen, but mostly Clea, which it was really good.
I love the scene where it looks like they're on Naboo, and they're sitting at like the diner or whatever.
Yes.
And he hands her the
detonator.
the detonator, and you just know Luthen's done rigged up something. Maybe the bridge, maybe the vehicles, maybe the whole town. And he wants to see if she will push it. But he also wants to spare her from actually having to push it. Mm-hmm. And I love that scene because this is very similar to the scene between him and Cassian at the end of season 1, where, you know, Cassian kind of flips this on him, and he's like, kill me or take me in.
Yep.
You know? And this is where Luthen was like, look, I know you say you're about this, but, like, I need to know if you are actually, like, you right now, like, it's one thing for me to do it, because he's probably, what, 35 at this point, or older?
In that flashback, yeah.
And she's a teenager.
Yeah, she's like Kira's age, younger than Sophia, but
Yeah, and he's like, is this what you want to do? Do you want to right now give up the rest of your hopefully long life? Maybe not that long if you go down this path.
yeah.
You know? And I thought this episode did wonders for Clea's character.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, she was really like until the end of season 2, I almost felt like she was a little bit of a background character.
See, I actually was on the Clea bandwagon since season 1.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the scene that really got you there?
No, it was just the fact that she was always such a hardcore ride or die.
Oh, she absolutely was.
And like even when Luthen, even in season 1, when he started to do things that may seem a little reckless, she was like, "No, this is what we need to do." You know, like you need someone like that to kind of not only someone who has your back but has the same kind of principles as you.
Yeah.
Who's gonna do the shit that you know needs to be done.
I was on her train from that scene she had with Cassian, and I think it was like episode 6, maybe. What did she say to him? The famous line.
She said, Cassian says, I need to start making my own decisions.
Yes.
And she says, I thought that's what we were fighting for.
That was when I jumped on her train. That very moment, I was like, before that, I wasn't sure if she was a good guy or a bad guy. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Apparently, this is her first acting gig.
That's insane. That's
Really?
like the kid in
This is her first
Sinners
acting
too.
gig, yeah.
Everybody kept talking about Michael B. Jordan in Sinners, and I was like, no, who's him?
Yeah, that was his first acting gig too.
Yeah.
So
That's
she
crazy.
I watched the interview with her, and she was like, yeah, she had just gotten out of I guess like acting school or whatever, and she had auditioned, for the role in Andor. Mm-hmm. And then next thing she knows, she's getting a call from, I guess, her agent who's saying, hey, they want you to come in again. You're going to sit down with Stellan. And she was like, what the fuck?
That's amazing. That's got to be an insane feeling.
Yeah.
That's literally like graduating from like IT school and Microsoft's like, hey, how you doing? You want to come run this team?
She voices the deer in Wicked.
That's pretty awesome.
That's fucking cool.
That is fucking cool.
Oh, that's amazing.
Boy, that is random.
It is a short IMBD.
Yeah, that it is. It was. Yeah, there was only like 5 things on it. Yeah, I know like pro wrestlers that have more shit on their IMDb. Yeah, so I love this episode with Clea, like all the backstory that we get with her.
Also, the way that she slinks through this hospital.
Fucking them up.
So cool. So
Yeah.
cool. It's
She
like
is
a mix
ruthless.
of it's like a mix of shooting motherfuckers and rolling a 20 in persuasion.
Oh, yeah.
And stealth and
Deception.
yeah, yeah. She fucking
She
killed it here.
showcases those mad skills she learned
yeah.
from Luthen,
And the scene that really got me as far as like her acting goes is when she finally gets into the room.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you're an optimist or maybe just a little naive, you're thinking, oh, she's going to break him out of here. And the whole time I'm like, that's not why she's breaking into this hospital, folks.
No, it's not.
She's breaking in there because her mentor would rather die than be tortured or captured by the Empire. Mm-hmm. And she is going to make sure that he gets that last wish. Because Luthen would do it for her.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I think most people, I don't know all people, but most people would be like, just let me go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, if I ever get captured by the Empire, you guys, please, like...
You want us to break into a highly secure hospital with all your ops? And then...
I'll be honest, you can just blow up the hospital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
you ain't got to break it in. Like, you can just joker that shit.
Okay, all right.
Maybe get a better detonator than the Acme one he had. You know? Where he was like...
Yeah.
I love that was like a real thing too, right? Like it didn't fucking go
It didn't
off.
work, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. But no, this was amazing.
It was. And then one of my favorite scenes is the next couple of scenes, which is when K2SO has to come in there and save the motherfucking day.
Yeah, like, I guess that's not in this episode.
No, that's...
Next.
This episode almost entirely focuses on the Coruscant stuff.
Yeah, and
because
it
I
kind of like ends
don't
with her
think
doing that Morse code thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think we don't see Cassian.
No,
in this
Cassian is
episode.
not. I would almost bet my life that Cassian was not in that first episode.
Were you guys kind of shocked? I mean, I think we all knew that Luthen had to die, but were you guys shocked that it was here and not in 12?
I thought it would be 11 or 12.
Yeah.
See, I was not surprised because I kind of had like a foreshadowing feeling. I was like, I feel like they're going to end him early because they're going to show that it's about this younger rebellion group of characters. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was not surprised when they killed him as early as they did.
The only thing that kind of disappointed me was when we reviewed the last batch of episodes. We had this theory like, well, what if Stellan? I mean, what if Luthen? His whole thing was that. Just this petty thing where like he used to fish in a certain spot and then like they put like a levy and they say, well, you have to get a fishing license now and there's 50% more than what it used to be. He's like, fuck this, I'm starting a rebellion. But unfortunately that wasn't really what happened.
No, it was like a soldier PTSD kind of case is what it came off as to me. Like he was a part of the Empire at some point in some facet. He was obviously somebody in command of something. They don't really go into details, and I'm kind of glad that they don't because then you run into like canon issues or whatever. It was just like an overview. You could tell he was someone of authority in a military capacity. And he's struggling. He's really freaking tripping balls
He
about
ain't
it.
the only one because I think this episode, Partagas seems to be having some struggles.
So, the way I interpreted that scene where he finds Clea is like, I'm pretty sure him and some other people were there wiping out her people. Mm-hmm. Is how I interpreted it. And I think he just had enough of it. you know. I think he was already seeing then what the Empire had become, you know, already. And they had to probably have been like corporate, right? Because they didn't have stormtrooper uniforms. Or they could have been mercenaries. There was a lot of that at the end of, like, in that era of time.
Sure, and he could have even been, like, local militia for whatever planet the Emperor was taking out, you know what I mean? We don't know, but he was some sort of command, and he had probably sent people to die, knowing, you know what I mean, that they were not going to make it out, and I mean, that kind of shit weighs on you. I don't know if you know very many people who are in the military. My whole family has been, and... You know, crazy thing, one of my cousin's ex-husband was literally, like, what's the word? Artillery for 24 years. You don't see that. Typically, if you're artillery, your career's 4, 5, 6 years. You know what I mean? And then you either get, like, shot or you get out because of health reasons, or you switch to a desk job or something like that. You don't do, like, 20-plus years in artillery. And I remember when my ex-husband met him for the first time, and they were talking about what they did in the military, each of them, and he was like, that motherfucker's probably crazy, Lauren.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was like, probably.
Maybe he just really likes blowing motherfuckers up.
I don't know, but...
I mean, you know, insurgents or whatever, you know?
Motherfucking insurgents.
Yeah.
I don't know a single insurgent.
Stole my baby cereal.
Yeah, that's right. I really love the Partagas stuff here. I will say that my favorite scene with the ISB stuff is the fucking when Krennic comes in the room with Miro.
Oh yeah.
Holy fuck, this scene was so good. Cause like he's livid, right? He's already decided like we're either gonna throw you in prison, you're never gonna see the light of day again, or I'm gonna shoot you. Probably the first one, but the second one if we got to. You know, I'll take the second one if that's what we got to do.
I love how like he uses a lot of like super hyper aggressive yet flowery language to just say the simple fact: either you a traitor or you dumb.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Like, you couldn't have thought this was okay. There's no way you're that stupid. So you're obviously a traitor.
I love that shit where he was like, if you're not a rebel spy, you missed your calling.
That was so good.
Yeah.
You know she felt like this motherfucking big.
Yeah.
Because she's like the furthest thing from a rebel spy, you know?
Yes, she's like freaking... at the front line on January 5th. Like, she is that bitch.
Yeah, right? Like, yeah, like, she's that chick that the cop shot at the door.
Exactly. Like, she was 110 on the Empire.
Yeah. And I mean, I love where he's like, gets her to say it, you know? He's like, why are we here? Say, I want you to say it. And she's just like, Death Star. And immediately you're like, oh yeah, you know, girl, you done. And like the Partagas scene, like I saw it coming for sure when he's like, I just need a minute. But it was a fitting way for him to go out too, you know.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like he was real close to being like Palpatine's guy, you know.
Until he wasn't.
That's the thing with that position.
Yeah.
Is you the right hand until
heads will roll at the Empire. Palpatine ain't got no problem killing a motherfucker.
Absolutely
just
not.
zipping you.
I mean, you got to think like in the original trilogy, how many fucking first officers does Vader kill? like, hey, I need you to bring me the rebels, and then like the next scene is like them escaping, and then the next scene is Vader killing the shit out of that guy. And then he's like, new admiral, come on up.
He's like, please don't let it be me.
Yeah. You didn't want to be his admiral. That's the whole thing. You wanted to be number 4.
Right.
Number 5.
Way down the line.
That's a safe place.
Yeah.
There's a guy at like the nav computer on the bridge. He's like, not me.
Every time you get a promotion, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Shit.
You do not really want to be like, there's the one scene, I think it's in Return of the Jedi, where he literally like kills a motherfucker and then promotes Piet to admiral right there. Like they ain't even, and then Piet like has to call them in to get the other dude's body.
See, in my headcanon, he's really taking down Palpatine all this whole time. He's
Maybe.
playing the best game of chess there ever was played.
That's 4D chess.
That
I don't think
is.
that's what he was doing, though. I think he was just real mad.
I mean, that's definitely like a thing that he would have liked to have done, but he knows there's no way like that Palpatine would wreck his shit if he ever found out about it. But I mean, he managed to fuck up and to get Tarkin killed. And Tarkin and Vader actually don't like each other at all. Mm-hmm. Tarkin, very early on in the Vader thing, because an important thing about Vader is like no one in the Empire really knows that he's Anakin. Mm-hmm. But Tarkin actually figures it out. Tarkin was in the military and served alongside Anakin, and like he actually is the only person to ever let Vader know that he knows and live, because like Palpatine would not let him kill Tarkin.
Yeah.
Anybody else that would have said that shit, you'd have never heard from them again.
No, absolutely. And he does get Palpatine in the end, because
He
the
does.
other shit don't exist.
Yeah. Yeah, he fucks him up. So yeah, this episode, anything else on this one before we go on to 11? I think we covered pretty much everything. All right, so 11, this is where Cassian gets the message via Willman. He has the little terminal. Mm-hmm. Clea has made it to the safe house on Coruscant.
And beep, 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 beep. And this was my favorite episode of the set of 3.
The tension here was crazy.
It was.
Yes.
It was like we knew Cassian didn't die once again, but you doubted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that Cassian and Melchi are going to live, and K2SO.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know that Clea is going to make it out.
Well, you may not know that she makes it out, but you know that she's going to live, because they've even had instructions like bring her in alive.
That's true. Well, yeah, but I mean, she would pull a Luthen in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. I mean, who wants to be tortured by the Empire? Me.
I'll be honest. There was a time where I actually thought that maybe Cassian or Melchi was gonna, offer like pull a Luthen,
No,
be like,
yeah,
and be like, you know too much.
That's why that whole episode is so good, is you really are on the edge of your seat not knowing what the fuck is about to happen.
K2SO, the MVP of the episode.
He
Yes.
was! I loved him in this episode so much.
They would have been fucked.
Yeah,
without him.
Yeah.
I love with the first guy that he fucks up. He's like, "Are you with us?" And K2SO
Nope.
swats the motherfucker off the bridge, and he's like, "No."
So good. You start to see sassy K2SO that becomes so prevalent in Rogue One.
Yeah.
This is kind of like our first real interaction with him being his sassy self.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he was perfect here.
He was.
We get this whole intricate fight here. The ISB has come unraveled, basically. Krennic has basically taken over, and he has no time for anything. He's just like, you understand what I was saying? All right, then why are you still standing there, motherfucker? Get out there and do the thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When they're putting out the hit on Clea, yeah, she's got some kind of fucking infectious disease.
Yeah.
We need to retrieve her.
Yeah,
Go.
that's some Empire shit.
Yeah.
Propaganda.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, seeing the state that she's in, Clea, that is, like, she was, she was just so fucking distraught, and for me, it just enhanced the tension, because she wasn't her same, stern, confident self. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there was a lot of stress, and you could just see it weighing on her.
Honestly, I think she kind of like is just now processing everything. Because like up until she killed Luthen, she was in like just like blinders on, like this is my objective. I'm on a fucking mission. And I think now that she's been alone in this fucking safe house, she's got nothing to do but message the rebellion and fucking process.
Yeah.
And she's got nobody pulling her strings anymore.
Yeah.
She is her own string puller at this moment. Probably for the first time since she was a very small child.
And I think, too, she's so hesitant to go to Yavin because she's not going to be able to put up with the way that Luthen is known there.
Yeah, you see that they don't get a very warm welcome.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll be honest. Like nobody at Yavin really cared about what happened to her except for like Mon and like Cassian and Vel. Mm-hmm. And thankfully they go and pull off this like amazing save. I was so relieved when they like actually got her back safely.
Yeah.
You know, because out of all the characters, like she didn't necessarily have to go. You know, like I'm glad that she got somewhat of a good ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it does make you like a little curious. Not saying that we need a whole fucking Clea miniseries TV show.
Oh, yeah. Don't say it too loud, man. Kathleen Kennedy be like, yes, Clea, a Star Wars story.
But I will be curious to know exactly like what came of her, you know, following this.
Yeah, I mean, she could 1,000,000% show up in like an Ahsoka season 2 or just assuming that she stays with the rebellion, you know.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
They would have to figure out a way to age her like 15 years or so, but I mean, shit, that's
Makeup can do that easily nowadays.
Yeah, that's not that crazy. I mean, I would pop for a cameo of like maybe she's on Hera's ship or something. Maybe she serves under her.
That would be dope. I would pop for it too.
I mean, that would make sense. Mon, you know, her story kind of wrapped up in 9. Mm-hmm. Like she doesn't have a ton to do in these back 3 episodes, but
that's just to get her in place for Rogue One.
Yeah, and I mean, and ultimately for like Return of the Jedi in Episode 4.
Mm-hmm. And isn't she in Rebels or no? Just that one scene.
She is in Rebels because like in Rebels she actually makes the speech to like not the Senate speech but the one that the rebellion broadcasts.
Yeah.
And like Hera and all of them actually bring her to Yavin on the Ghost. So, and there's a couple cameos from Rebels in Rogue One. You actually see Chopper in Rogue One, which is the droid from Rebels. There's a one point when they're on Yavin, and they kind of come over the loudspeaker, and somebody's like, General Syndulla to Hangar 4 or whatever. It's just a cool little Easter egg, if you know. And then the Ghost is in the fight at the end in the space battle.
That's really cool. I gotta get more of the animated push through.
I will say, Clone Wars is definitely way easier to get through, especially because like the last season of Clone Wars is so good. Like it is Revenge of the Sith good. It's tremendous.
But I am gonna look up one of those online guides.
Yeah. Like look up a filler guide. There will be no filler in the last season. It's fucking incredible. It's totally worth it.
Okay.
But yeah, Rebels is a lot more to me. I've watched a couple of select episodes, like that one, or like there's one where Obi-Wan finally fucking kills Darth Maul for realsies. and you gotta love the internet because they actually, someone has like taken a screenshot and like and gotten out like a protractor and figured out that where Obi-Wan is standing is like 0.7 degrees higher than where Darth Maul is standing, and so therefore Darth Maul never had a chance.
That's true.
Because he has the high ground. And
I mean, damn.
I love Star Wars fans.
I mean, here's the thing, man. I'm a big Obi-Wan Kenobi guy, and the thing about Obi-Wan is he doesn't kill motherfuckers, but he will take your limbs off. and he actually has quite a history of doing this, you know. He has cut off quite a few limbs from quite a few people.
I mean, sometimes you have to subdue, and sometimes that's the best way to subdue.
Yeah.
But see, that's why I don't necessarily always fuck with the Jedi, because I feel like that's a very Jedi thing.
Cutting your limbs off?
Subduing.
Well, that's an Obi-Wan specialty, though, is the limb cutting. Yeah, you can ask your boy Anakin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's all right.
Got quite a few of those. And
he's got the one that matters. No, I'm just kidding.
We don't know that. Yeah. And if so, it probably looks like a burnt hot dog from barbecue.
Yeah.
Split open.
Yeah. Just popped at the end.
Yeah. You know where you get the cheese filled ones and you cook them too long and they just kind of and then it just kind of comes out. It's like
Brought
that.
some of those to the house the night of the hugging incident.
Oh yeah. See, exactly. Yeah, you know. Anyway, about Andor season 2. So episode 11, we get obviously the rebellion on Yavin doesn't want to they don't want to risk anything for Kleia because of Luthen. Mm-hmm. I doubt they probably barely know anything about her, to be honest.
It was like, how much gas is this, dog?
Yeah. Yeah, you know that space fuel is expensive. Palpatine keeps jacking up the prices.
They definitely didn't want to send two of their probably best guys into fucking Coruscant.
Yeah, they didn't want Cassian to go. Didn't they? Yeah, so it was when they returned on the U-Wing, like they weren't expecting them or whatever. This scene didn't make a whole lot of sense to me because I'm like, you guys know that ship. Like, I get they weren't expecting you or whatever, but the odds of like the Empire having like that exact ship.
Yeah, I don't know. I never thought about that until
until just now. I imagine though, like from afar, they were like, "Who the fuck is this?"
Yeah, I mean,
as it lands, sure, they probably were like, "This is motherfucking Cassie."
Yeah, they didn't know anything. You know, they had to be cautious. But I'm like, man, if the Empire knows that you guys are here enough to send a ship like this, y'all are already fucked. Case in point, about a day later, they do find out that you're here and they do send a ship. Yep. And, with the intention of blowing your planet up. So.
Yeah. But I think like this is really when shit turns up a notch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Because we get the harrowing rescue with K2SO. They bring Kleia back. Is that at the very end of this episode, or is it at the very beginning of the next of 12?
I feel like, and this could be a false memory, it's the very beginning of 12.
Because like, I have had a chance to rewatch. So like, I always watch these on Tuesday, and then I always rewatch them right before we review them. But I did not get to do that with these back three, so it has been a week.
It's been a busy week.
Yeah, it's been a week for me since I saw them.
I feel like we get them on the ship and maybe even flying or taking off at the end of 11, and we get their arrival in 12. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
No, I think that's pretty accurate.
That sounds right.
And like Kleia doesn't want to leave Coruscant.
No, they gotta like convince this bitch.
And, Cassian's like, you can't stay here. Like, they're gonna kill you. Like, or you hope.
You hope, yeah. We'll very likely just torture you for information.
The best you could get is death.
Because it's gonna be Krennic that gets you. Like Miro, she also would have tortured you, but fortunately for them, like Dr. Gorst,
he did.
Is 86. What else? Obviously, like the rebellion. We see some of this even in Rogue One, and like you're even kind of even more like these guys are dipshits because in this episode they're telling them everything that they've been told about, and this is in 12 about the Death Star, and they're like, oh, you guys got to go find us some evidence. Like, we don't believe you. And then, like, he shows back up in Rogue One on Yavin, like, hey, hey, Doc, I found the guy's kid. Yeah, he left a recording, and he said that, yes, there is a super weapon. And they're like, okay, but how about you go get us some more evidence?
No, that's exactly the vibe that I get. But they're very much like rule booking. You know what I mean? They're just trying to survive, I feel like, at this point, and they're not going out on a limb to take on the fucking Death Star. That's the Cassians of the off specters of them. You know what I mean? Like the rares, not them as a whole aren't taking on the Death Star.
Yeah, well, I mean, it takes some convincing on Cassian's part, and, and even then, like, at this point, it's not even really
No, he's just trying to get her the fuck out of there and figure out what the next step is.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know though. Like it's, and that's kind of the thing about the nature of this show, right? It's like I really enjoy these last 3 episodes, but because of the nature of the show is that this is not only a prequel, it is a prequel with, I don't want to say a soft ending, but the true ending isn't at the end of this season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like there's only so much they can do to give like so the ending of the, not to fast forward, but like the way that this show wraps up, I think,
The ending of this show is fantastic.
yeah, I think that it is great. But if you look at it as a self-contained unit, it's like, well, I know I have to watch something else, and because this can't be where this story just ends like this. This is, you know,
Yeah, the big crescendo is at 9, and then you know that the next one is Rogue One. Like Rogue One is the real finale.
I
here.
do feel like 10, 11, 12 or whatever, we're feeding that entry into Rogue One.
And that's one of the things. Like, Chapter 4, I thought it was amazing, but it does not live up to Chapter 3. It couldn't. There's no way, because the part of this story that truly needed, like the part of this story that like validates the existence of this show is Chapter 3.
Exactly.
And then Chapter 4 is all about building up to Rogue One. And I think they do that in such a realistic way, and they do it without all the winks and nods and all that.
I was so happy about that.
Yeah. I loved how like the walk Cassian went on, and we get a little piece of each character and like how things kind of turned out for them. I really enjoyed that. Even going back to like seeing Mon Mothma's husband.
yeah,
You know, and
seeing him with some other floozy,
some floozy, and he's drinking.
yeah,
I'm surprised he's not in the cell, to be honest with you.
right, yeah, that's a great fucking
Like
point.
your wife literally
Yeah.
did some shit.
Another scene that I really enjoyed that we didn't talk about is, at the beginning of 11, when Willman gets, he gets the message or whatever. Before he gets to Cassian, he's just shooting. They're all just shooting the shit, playing whatever the fuck they were playing.
I loved that.
Yeah,
that scene with they're like
K2SO, and they're like, it's almost like a poker type of game. I feel like where they're trying to bluff each other.
Yeah.
And K2SO's like, we have played 874 games of this, and you have never done this. It's like, man, it must suck to play cards with a droid.
It would have to. Like, yeah, to beat a fucking computer algorithm. That's awful. Yeah.
Which is why it was so. That's why Cassian was laughing so hard at the fact that he had gotten that Willem had gotten one over on him.
Yeah. I think it's a very small scene, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it was kind of necessary just for the characters. You know what I mean?
Yes. I like that it showed you that Cassian was okay. Because that was like the first time you see Cassian since the epic ending of, the last chapter.
And I was going to bring that up. Like, how do you guys, do you think that, all right, what do you, so they do mention Bix, in his presence at some point here in these episodes. And he reacts like a wounded man who's trying not to
be a little
wounded.
angry.
Yeah.
It's a bit of disassociation, I think, for him probably at this point. He's like, all I got left is the fucking rebellion, so let me fucking rebel, I guess. It took everything else from me. I don't want to think about that person.
Yeah.
I really loved that Bix and B2 got like a happy ending.
Yeah.
As happy as this show can put out.
Yeah.
Let me just say, Tony Gilroy is the fucking man. Unfortunately, he says he's done with Star Wars. He's been doing it for 10 years. I would love for this guy to get his hands on like some Marvel stuff, like Disney, keep this man on the payroll.
Yeah.
Like I would love to see him do some like Winter Soldier type shit in the MCU, with like that kind of gritty realism that he's known for. Honestly, like he would have been great for Thunderbolts if they took it in a different direction.
He would have been great for Secret Invasion had they had a direction.
Yeah, had it been good, if he had made it, you know. But yeah, like the restraint that he shows in this, because when we see Bix, the way Bix's ending is, and she has the baby, and I'm like, now who looks Hispanic in the sequel trilogy that they're going to try to say this is? And I was like, if she had named that baby Poe on screen,
Oh my god,
I would have probably kicked a wall out of my house.
Come, Poe, we must pick flowers.
I even looked it up, and like Oscar Isaac in 2017 or whatever would have been like the exact right age to line up with like the Star Wars timeline and everything.
And I'm sure all over Reddit people are talking about it.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it.
Yeah, but like they didn't do it, and like it's not supposed to be him, and like I'm pretty sure he has actually come out and doubled down on that. Like, no, it is not supposed to be him at all. Like, it's literally just like a way for, like, why can't he just be like a farmer of whatever the fuck they farm on that planet?
When you start to do shit like that, it's not cute, it's not cool. You make your universe smaller,
right?
When you do shit like that,
exactly, because now everybody must be related.
Yeah,
I mean, Star Wars like already, you know, majorly has that fucking problem
with Skywalker type stuff. Yes,
yeah, it's like everybody's got to be a goddamn Skywalker or a Palpatine.
Yeah,
and you're just like, what the fuck? You know, it just doesn't make any sense. Like there was a long time where the common theory after Episode 7 was that Rey was actually like Obi-Wan's daughter, which would have kind of made sense because they're like the only two people with British accents in the fucking in the galaxy, you know. But they didn't go that route. They went in a completely different route. I'm kind of glad because I feel like I would have been obligated to like her a little bit, and that would have been awful. I've been like, man, you need to get your kid. You didn't know how to do the blue glowy Force Ghost thing for her, like maybe teach her some shit.
New phone, who this?
That actually could have been. She could have been like, oh, that's why you don't ever see me training. Like my dad taught me all this shit. Taught me how to be a pilot and like a mechanic and like the best Jedi ever.
Yeah. And I remember when I was a kid, he told me I wouldn't always be this age.
Yeah. He's known for saying that. Yeah. Yep. Identifying that people do in fact age.
Yeah.
One of his specialties.
And he told me if I'm just a little bit above you, I got you, bitch.
Yeah. Never go against anybody that's got the high ground. That's ever. But yeah, I was so glad that they didn't do this, and it was just like okay, she was pregnant. This actually like reinforces her reason for leaving.
It's so fucked up, right? Because she leaves Cassian, and then she gets knocked up by some random person who we never see, and then has his kid. I'm like, man,
it was obviously
so
a
fucked.
Spanish baby.
So fucked. I mean, okay, sure, yeah, because they're the only two Hispanic people in the whole galaxy.
I mean, when Rogue One came out, that's what I fucking thought. Okay.
I mean, Billy D for the longest time was the only black dude in the galaxy.
And I thought for a minute they were gonna fucking draw that connection, man.
Oh my god,
with Finn. Oh my god. So yeah, I mean, I thought that they were gonna do that shit, especially because like Poe is a pilot and all that shit. I'm so glad they didn't do it.
I don't think. Well, I know y'all think that he's just the actor, but he has a lot of producer credits and stuff on there. I don't think Diego would have gone that route. Like, I know him. I texted him and I said, you should do this shit.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about Brian Michael Bendis regularly as if, we know him.
We met him.
Because we've met him twice.
Yeah.
And he told us that Peter Parker was Jewish.
He did, in fact, say that.
Which we did not know until that moment.
Now, I mean, that makes fucking sense.
It's canon, yeah.
It does track. As a matter of fact, I was reading Daredevil a few months ago, and I found a random panel where Spider-Man shows up, and he starts saying some, not to be racist, but he starts saying some mad Jewish shit, and I was like, yeah, I mean, it was written by Bendis.
There you go.
It checks out.
Yeah, I mean.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Speaking Speaking of comics, I really loved the one that I read.
Which one?
White Sand?
No, the one that you're supposed to have read months ago.
Saga.
Oh, you talking about Saga?
Yeah.
I blame Kay for that because I'm halfway through it. I've actually read half of it, and then I got distracted, and I'm like, well, Kay hasn't even started it, so you got to talk to Kay about that, and I'll be right there. Because like I was like, well, I'm not going to read this until it gets close because I'm going to forget it. So also, I don't know why, but like the very first time that I tried to read that, I was very much in like public. And I don't know why I thought that like the book with the alien titty on the front wasn't gonna be on some bullshit on like page 1.
Yeah, dog. Page fucking 1.
So like we're at a convention, and like when you're in a vendor space in the convention, there's people all around you, and I open that shit up, and there's just like fucking on the first page. And not like some missionary vanilla fucking either. Dog. And I'm just like, you know what? This is probably not the place and time for me to read this. Let me put this down.
You know, if you can read Saga anywhere, it's probably at a con. You know, in the public place.
Oh yeah, that would have been a great place to actually read it. Like I love reading with a vibe.
There's a lot of fucking in Saga.
I really enjoy what I have read so far, though.
It's really good.
Yeah. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. So.
Speaking of fucking Andor.
Yeah, I don't know. I think these last 3 episodes, you know, a lot of it is just to tee up Rogue One and also tie up some of the characters that we have grown familiar with.
I completely agree.
And I feel like a lot of that gets done in episode 10, right? Like, obviously in 10, we get a ton of the Kleia backstory, a little bit of Luthen. Luthen gets his end in 10. Miro doesn't get her end, but it's like the beginning of the end for her. Partagaz here. We get to see Krennic off the fucking rails, which I really loved.
Yeah.
I agree. No, I think that episode 11 was my favorite episode. Because that was like the action episode. That's where all the shit went down.
Yeah.
I felt like 10 wrapped up Andor, 12 prepared Rogue One.
Yeah.
And 11 was like the action of Andor, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for me, like 10 and 11, I like those two neck and neck, and I like 12, just not as much as
10 and 11. No, except for the last like 10 minutes. I don't know how long it was, but like the exit scene, the ending scene, I did enjoy that. Like I liked seeing all the like walk through and everything. That was good. It snuck up on me, the ending on that one. When he was walking and stuff, like I was watching and then it just ended. And I was like, oh fuck, I gotta start Rogue One. You know what I mean? Because it made you want to do that.
Yeah. Well, I was like, well, he's going to meet the guy that he meets at the beginning of Rogue One. I was like, this can't go much longer.
Yeah.
And then they like show him walking towards the ship. I was like, oh, they better cut this shit off.
Yeah.
And I should have, but it had been so long since I'd seen Rogue One, I forgot the opening scene of Rogue One.
Honestly,
so I wasn't ready for the cut, but
I need them to do a super cut of Rogue One where like Jen Erso is not in it, and like we get either Vel or Kleia in that role or both.
That'd be great.
Kleia would have been great in that role. God.
And like honestly, that movie would be like probably a 9 out of 10. Because like Jen is by far the worst part of that movie.
She's a nothing burger character.
Yeah.
I
like
agree.
Her dad is like infinitely cooler than her, and he gets like 5 minutes of screen time.
Right. Also, it's Mads Mikkelsen, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say like he's awesome, and he gets nothing, but she gets that whole fucking movie.
I told a lot of people. I know a lot of people that were watching the show, and like so many people were like, "Oh, we're gonna get a Vader, we're gonna get a Palpatine, we're gonna get a." I mean, there was even people that's like, "Oh, we're gonna see like Han Solo somewhere or whatever," and I'm like, "You're not gonna get any of that shit."
No.
This show is about these characters, and like that's what it's about. I was like, Tony Gilroy is not gonna do that shit. I'm so glad that he didn't, right? Because if you use Vader, it downplays his Rogue One stuff. Which is amazing. Palpatine, the aura of Palpatine, right? Like the threat of him is perfect. You don't need him physically there. You know who and what he is.
I would have loved to have seen him walk into that room, that prison room with homegirl sitting there, and then fade to black.
Well, see, that's the thing is, like, he never would have put himself in that situation. No, because
he wouldn't have, she didn't mean that much. She was a peon, you know what I mean? But it still would have made me go, ha ha, bitch.
If Palpatine had to walk in that room, you'd have never seen Krennic in Rogue One, because if Palpatine had to walk in that room, Krennic is dead already.
Yeah, he's been like,
Palpatine's like, bitch, who? What? And then he fries Krennic on his way to walk out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the reason that Krennic is going completely insane here, is because, like, he knows that, like, if the rebellion blows up this fucking Death Star, Palpatine is going to fucking kill him or worse.
Yeah, he's going to be like, okay, how did these plans get out? Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Because, like, the people who know about this shit are, like, Palpatine, Tarkin, Vader, Krennic, and the people that are in the room in Season 2, Episode 1. And that's it. Well, I guess, and the people who are directly working on it.
Yeah, exactly. The people building it.
Yeah. And, like, they all get killed. I mean, we see that in Rogue One. Like, Krennic kills all the engineers and everybody that was working on it.
Yeah. I would have done something like I would have made the instruction manual backwards or some shit.
So I gotta live.
Yeah, I gotta live. Aha.
I'm the only motherfucker can read it.
I would have made all the controls way overly complicated. You know, well, you see, in order to turn it on, you have to crank this lever 5.5 times, and then a quarter turn to the left. Hit up, down, left, right.
That's my poor child trying to open her locker. She has one more day to figure it out. Tomorrow's her last day of school. Oh. And this entire year, that locker has been the bane of her existence. She got it open one time, she put her shit in it, and never again this year. Because what's fucking her up is the first number in her code is a 0.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm trying to explain to her, you technically got to go 3 times. I know it says 2.
Yeah.
I know it says 2, but honey, you got to go 1, 2, and then come back to the... She can't
it's the spinny type.
Yes.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so I keep telling her, go 3. Just go 3, Sophia. She's like, it says 2.
Yeah. Starting off with a 0, that fucked her up. Yeah.
It did. Yep. It did for her freshman year. Come on.
All the way up.
They really jacked her. So I might be walking through a high school tomorrow morning because I ain't paying for these books. We getting this locker open.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Sorry, him seeing the buttons made me go there.
You'd have made it like, in order to boot up the reactor, you had to beat Dark Souls 1 with a Guitar Hero controller.
Yeah.
So, is Dark Souls 1 difficult to beat?
Yeah.
I think you'd be great at it, Lauren.
Let me tell you I don't want to go too far back, but let me tell you a story. When I first got engaged to my ex, he loves Dark Souls 1. I had never played a video game in my life. This mofo hands me the controller and says, get to this point and we gonna get married type of shit. And I can't marry somebody who can't play Dark Souls. I didn't know it was that hard of a fucking game.
Yeah. But it's not hard in a good way. It's hard in like we just made our controls incredibly shitty.
Well, it's also hard in like you can get one-shotted.
Yeah. Okay. So that just validated about 5 years of my life. I want you gentlemen to know that.
Do you remember Flappy Bird? Mm-hmm. Dark Souls is just Flappy Bird.
Okay.
It's the same concept, right? Like if I handed you Flappy Bird and I made these really good touch controls, right, where you could like grab the bird and do exactly what your brain intended for you to do with the bird, you would just guide the bird through the level and it'd be easy as fuck.
Yeah.
But the reason that you can't do that with Flappy Bird is because, like, the controls are very shitty.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's Dark Souls. It's the same. It's Flappy Bird.
Okay, I just feel so much better about my entire self.
Did you play a lot of Flappy Bird?
Not a whole lot, but I'm familiar with
it. Okay.
I'm familiar with
I'm not wrong.
He's seen its work.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's a little bit of a stretch, but I get what you're saying.
I mean, it's more in depth than Flappy Bird. I'm just saying it's just
the controls.
Yeah.
Controls.
Well, I think it'd be more akin to like if there was like an expert extreme hardcore difficulty on the original Resident Evil games.
Yeah.
Where they had tank controls.
Yeah.
If you want to turn around, you know, your character backs up and then you're trying to run, but your character, yeah, you got to do a quarter turn this way. The zombies almost at you, like, you fucking run.
Yeah. You had to do like a 11 point turn. Mm-hmm. You had to be like that and then like back up. Yeah. Those controls in the first, 3 are pretty bad. I do think it was in 3, though, where they did the thing where you could press like backwards and 0 and do the 180.
180, yeah.
And that was revolutionary.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, it might have been 4 when the 180 came about, actually.
I think, no, neither. It was Code V on the Dreamcast.
Okay.
Yeah, and later on they released Nemesis on the Dreamcast and they put it in that version as well. Yeah. Sorry, but now we're rabbit holes.
That's okay. It's my fault. But you know what? It was worth it because my self-esteem went up like 4 fucking hit points.
And I mean, honestly, like, it would be great if you had to go to that high school, you could bring Jill Valentine with you because she's the master of unlocking. See?
Oh, shit. Well, now we come full circle.
Full circle. Yeah.
Fucking hell. Where were we?
We were talking about the ending.
Yeah, and how Vader's going to end up killing everybody working on the Death Star. That's where we got there.
What do you guys think about, like, I mean, obviously this show is incredible, like part of Star Wars' legacy. What do you think of like its place in Star Wars? Like, is this like a one and done thing? Do you think that they'll improve the quality of their shows overall because of how well this one's been received, or did we just luck up and this is like a fluke in the system that we got something that's good?
I don't want to call it a fluke. However, I think that the odds might be slightly greater that this is kind of a flash in the pan type deal. Simply because we've gotten other Star Wars content that's come out around the same time as Andor. I don't know if I can say that any of it lives up to this kind of quality. And although Andor is a different kind of Star Wars show, you know, I didn't watch Acolyte, so I can't compare, but I have heard things. Oh boy, have I heard things. But
I don't think you would hate Acolyte, actually.
I didn't hate Acolyte, it just didn't feel like Star Wars to me.
Okay. Everyone else I talked to fucking hates it.
Well, so here's the main problem with Acolyte, right? There's a very crucial scene in the beginning of the show that's kind of like what all of it's based around, right? This is kind of like Anakin turning to the dark side of this show, you know? Mm-hmm. It's like there's this one event that sets off all the other events in the show.
Yep.
And early on in the show, you see this event from one point of view, right? And it's stupid as fucking contrived. And then later, towards the end of the show, you actually see it from the other people's point of view. And it's somehow fucking worse.
Oh.
and that is all horrible. However, like, there are some really good characters in the show, some really good concepts. It easily has the best Disney, like, Force action in it. Like, you get to see some nice Old Republic level shit of, like, a Sith Lord just wrecking the fuck out of people.
Yeah.
And there is a really, really good lightsaber fight at the end. So, like, from an action standpoint, it's like really, really, really good. There's also like a Trinity fight at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And that was awesome. So, like, seeing how powerful the Jedi were in the High Republic era and, like, all that kind of stuff, all that is excellent. But, like, holy fuck, like, the plot is nonsense. It's like a Hideo Kojima game. And, like, not one of the good ones.
Yeah. It's like a Death Stranding.
Wattpad Star Wars is what I called it.
What's that?
Wattpad Star Wars
is
what I called it.
Because
you got the hot main male character who likes to walk around with the shirt off, and, like, it's not Star Wars to me. It's Wattpad Star Wars. Because you still have Force and still have lightsaber fights.
You can back the fuck up off of Darth Handsome.
I mean, he is absolutely Darth Handsome, and he, you know, not for him, but there's another Darth Handsome I'd go to the dark side for. So I get the thing that they're trying to do.
It's so crazy that that's the guy from The Good Place.
I know.
Have you seen The Good Place?
I haven't, but I know that he's from it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm familiar.
The guy that plays Kamir plays like this, like incredibly like geeky. I don't know about geeky, but just kind of like minuscule, kind of like this Asian character on that show, and he's just like does not have his shit together at all, you know. And he's also like tiny, but then. No, not in Acolyte. He's playing a fucking Sith. And, you know, he's walking around with his shirt off. He got the guns out, you know. He's like, you know, I could have put my base on a volcano planet, but that's edgy as fuck, and I like to swim, so I put it on a beautiful ocean planet. Come, swim in the waters with me.
And look deeply into my eyes.
Yeah, and the main character's like, shit, all right, I ain't got nothing else to do.
It's fucking Wattpad Star Wars, my friend.
It is, yeah. It's straight up just like it kind of feels like the Wachowski sisters made it.
I was gonna say, did a girl do that one?
Yeah, it wasn't them, but it totally could have been. But like, it's very Matrix 4 as far as the writing.
Oh wow, oh no.
But the action scenes are great.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a Wookiee Jedi. They kill him off screen. You know.
How do you kill a Wookiee Jedi off screen?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe they had the opposite question. I guess they were like,
how do you kill him on screen? Shit.
How you kill him on screen? Yeah. So like they just get there and he's dead. They're like, oh, we got it. They'll just get there and he's dead.
Holy shit.
Well, did we want to score this one and wrap it on up?
I think so.
Did you go?
I did.
It's my turn?
I think it is.
I think so.
All right. Lauren, you want to go first? You're a guest.
I was going to say, I'll go first.
Okay,
if you want me to.
Yeah.
So.
Pop off.
Episode 11 for me was, it's 10, 11, and 12, right? I'm just making sure because I'd be fucking up numbers. 11 was a 9 for me. It was by far my favorite episode in this. I want to give 10 and 8.75. I really liked everything to do with Luthen in that episode and the backstory stuff, his death. I thought it was so well done. I thought it was a really great end to this season. Like, I felt like they almost could have ended the shit there in episode 10, you know what I mean? But I'm glad they didn't, because we got 11, which is a 9. And then 12 is really hard for me to score. And I think it's because my expectation was I think because we're coming off of chapter 3, I think, did we not have chapter 3? If we had just gotten chapter 4, this shit could have been an all 9s for me. You know what I mean? But I just gave chapter 3 a 9.75, I think. So I would say probably like an 8.5 for episode 12. That's only because it left me wanting just a little bit more, other than the last 5 minutes. I did like how they end scene cutted it, but there could have been a little bit more chew to the beginning of episode 12 for me. It felt very much like a setup episode. Making my score, let's see, we went 8.75, 9, 8.5, 8.75 for the total.
Okay. Yeah, I gave chapter 3 a 10. One of only 2 10s I've ever given out on this show, unless we're counting our Perfect 10s episode. Check that out. It was tremendous.
It was a 10. Lauren gets it.
No, I got it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a fun episode though. Great episode. The only time we'll get to not review something probably in the next 3 months.
Yep.
It is so hard coming off of chapter 3, because chapter 4 couldn't be as good as chapter 3. There was never any time where it was going to be. But also with chapter 3, like, there was a lot of things where I was like, okay, this has to happen. This has to happen. And coming out of chapter 3, I really didn't know anything other than we have to end up at Rogue One, right? I mean, that's where we have to go. So starting off hot with the Luthen and Miro stuff, and I think 10 is easily my favorite episode of these three. Just because of like the Luthen and Clea stuff and seeing all that and like how badass Clea was breaking into this hospital and seeing her have to kill her mentor that has basically been a father figure to her, you know. Like all of that was incredible. This was really her episode, and I thought it was so smart to do it the way they did it. I loved seeing a lot of the endings for the characters. I don't know that I was upset with anybody's ending. I will say that like Vel as a character kind of dropped off because it's like after Cinta died, they didn't really 100% know what to do with her. But I mean, I don't know that she needed anything else, but she is just kind of like, okay, you're just part of the rebellion at this point. And that's kind of what Mon Mothma is in these episodes too. I mean, she has a very limited role here because she's in a leadership role for the rebellion. She's like kind of the figurehead of the whole thing. She can't be super involved with like the down in the dirt stuff. It just was never going to be that way. That being said, I do feel like 10 was great tension and drama. 11 was great action. 12 to me is a little underwhelming just because it's like set up for something we know we are kind of already got. Like we already know what it is. You know, you can't hype me for something I've seen like 5 times already. But I will say that the way it ties in is seamless and masterful. Yeah. And I love the restraint they showed here to not do some bullshit with his kid and be like, oh, it all worked out because, you know, this person was going to be this. And I'm like, even if they were to do that, did Poe actually do anything? Like, right. There's only one important character in the sequel trilogy. So, maybe 2, you know? And, it is hard to nitpick too much at this show ever because it's produced so well and written so well. I'm gonna go with an 8.5 for the last chapter here.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say something that you guys haven't already said so well, but a lot of my thoughts kind of mirror what you two have said. I really, really enjoyed 10 and 11. I thought that those were just tremendous episodes. And those, like, when I finished 10, I was like, man, I'm glad I got time today because I'm going to watch 11 right now. And I'm glad I did because, like, watching those two back-to-back was really good television, really entertaining, really engaging, really immersive. Not to say that 12 was bad because 12 certainly isn't bad. I think that 12 to me functions as like a really good come down episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
The problem for me is that a come down episode doesn't really do it for me as a finale. But it's like we were talking about before earlier. This is just the whole premise of what this show is. It cannot end on this super grand, holy shit, that's a fucking ending type moment because that's not the nature of this show. It never was going to be that at the end. The end has to be something that is a softer ending because it leads into something else.
Right.
It leads into Rogue One, which is, if you want to be technical, the true ending of what this whole thing is.
And even then, it
seamlessly goes into episode 4.
It's kind of episode 4.
Seamless thing.
Yeah. So, you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, well, this show has a limited amount of wiggle room for what it can really do for its ending.
Absolutely.
And they do a good job with it. They really do. It's just there's a lower ceiling on how good this show can have as a season finale, you know. Not to say I didn't enjoy it because I certainly did, but whereas 10 and 11 left me like, oh man, wow, this is really something. 12 left me with, I guess I got to watch Rogue One now.
Yeah.
But with that being said, my score is eerily close to Caleb's. I give it an 8.6.
So we got 8.5, 8.6, 8.75.
Oh yeah, 8%. So yeah, right in the middle of YouTube.
Right
Wow.
dab in the middle.
Yeah.
We must all be right because.
I mean, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, there actually. I'm glad you brought that up. There is a supercut out there that somebody did, and it's literally like episode 4 and Rogue One as like one movie basically, and they actually have there's some deleted scenes from episode 4. I don't know if you've seen this, and I'll send it to you guys, but it's like a really long deleted scene where it's very early in episode 4, and Luke is at the Tashi station with Biggs, the pilot that he knows. He has a really nice mustache.
Yeah.
70s porn mustache. And he's telling Biggs, this is after he finds out like that he can't go to the academy this year, and that he's gonna have to wait another. His like uncle wants him to wait another season, and he's and Biggs is like telling him like, hey, I met up with the rebellion. We're gonna go try to join up. And, this is like farm boy Luke still. He's like the rebellion, and he's like, shut the fuck up, dog. Like, he's like yeah, but yeah. So there's this scene, and the way the scene opens is Luke is actually looking out on the binoculars, and he's watching like the space battle that's happening, and like it just like ties like so cleanly into Rogue One, and Biggs is even like, yeah, so the Empire's not out here. I don't know that they would even fight over this rock if they lost it, and like obviously they don't know why there's like a space battle going on up there. But like I thought it was really cool that that's a fucking deleted scene from like 77, and they even kind of took it into account, when they were doing all this. So
That's really cool.
it's a long ass deleted scene.
Huh.
Yeah. So
The more you know.
Exactly. They got some good deleted scenes.
yeah, I've been watching that Industrial Light and Magic documentary,
Totally.
and it's just kind of like a thing I put on if I really don't want to have to focus a ton on it.
Yeah.
But it's been really interesting to see like just how much bullshit they pulled out or whatever. Apparently, George Lucas spent like I think it was like $700,000 in 1977 money of his own money.
It's like $2 million.
Because he told the studio, he was like, "Hey, I want to build an effects house," and like that wasn't a thing then.
Yeah.
There weren't effects houses. Like there wasn't like a big company that just does special effects. Like, nah.
Yeah.
And so they basically invented that, and George Lucas was like, "Yeah, well, as part of the cost of the movie, I'm gonna build an effects company." And the studio was like, "Boy, you not." And so he spent his own money to start ILM, and then he went over to like Europe and Africa, whatever, to do all the on set Tatooine shit and all that. And so he's gone for like 8 months to actually shoot the movie. And when he gets back, I think ILM had over 800 shots they had to do. They had 3 of them completed.
That's insane.
And George Lucas was like, "I gave you motherfuckers like $700,000 and you got 3 shots."
God damn.
but-
he didn't go Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah, no, like the way that they did that shit was crazy. They actually ended up having to go and hire a bunch of like people that like have gone to like business school for like time management and like actually organize it, because it was literally just a bunch of like fucking movie kids like in a warehouse with like, "Oh, here's a bunch of money, go have fun," or whatever.
Yeah.
And they had like a hot tub and and was playing like Legos and whatever else. But it's crazy. All of the shots of like the ships in those movies, especially in 4, none of the ships actually move because they couldn't do that. So they actually, all the ships are stationary and the camera just kind of moves to make you feel like the ship's moving. It's all like really neat, practical effect type shit that they did.
It's cool.
So it's worth a watch if you're into that kind of thing.
The more you know.
We won't have a second episode this week
We will not.
because I'm gonna be at motherfucking MomoCon.
What?
I'm going as Detective Pikachu.
Oh.
Yep. So excited about that. Going to be doing the things. I'm sure I'll have some news to bring back. I will be meeting one of the members of the X-Men 97 cast that I haven't met. Gambit is going to be there.
Nice.
And I actually have Kay has got a Gambit and Rogue piece that we had Rogue's voice actors signed last year, so we're of course gonna get Gambit on the other side. So
wouldn't it suck if he is supposed to be there, but then he's not there?
and then that would be awful.
I know you wouldn't be mad about it. Or anything,
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
You wouldn't still be talking about it.
I'd probably
never
mention
tell
it
that
again,
story.
Yeah.
To be honest, I probably wouldn't even bring it up.
yeah, probably. I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't.
Yeah, for sure.
But we will be back next week though, and we are going to be reviewing the last 3 episodes.
Is it 7?
I think it's 7 total.
Yeah. So I guess the last 3 episodes of The Last of Us season 2. And then, if that's not good enough for you, we'll also be reviewing that week Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yep.
That's what we have in the immediate pipeline for you guys. Lots of fun shit. It's gonna be fun for you guys at least. So there's that.
Yeah, next week's gonna be rough.
Then of course, sometime in June we have to do Fan Four Stick.
I'm actually really looking forward to that because you and I know what a fucking disaster it's gonna be, and the other 2 homies have never seen it. So Dylan and Oz have never seen the movie. If you guys don't tune in for any other episode, tune in for that one. It's going to be really special.
I'll be watching.
Oh my God. It's going to be incredible. Have you seen the movie?
2015 Fantastic Four.
It's god awful. In completely isolated environments, Kevin did he made a bracket for Kevin of like the worst superhero movies. And he did one for me as well. And when it got down to the final 2, like the worst 2 superhero movies imaginable, Fantastic Four from 2015, lovingly known as Fan Four Stick, and Dark Phoenix were the bottom 2.
Is that the one with Jessica Alba in it, the Fan Force Stick?
No.
Oh no.
Oh, sorry.
No, it actually it's got the one that's got Kate Mara,
Miles Teller,
and Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan. Yeah,
the Michael B. Jordan one.
When we start listing the cast off, you're like, oh well, shit, that's got to be really good. No. That's what we thought too.
Bad writing can fuck anything.
Boy, this writing is something else.
I don't think Josh Trank has gotten a gig in Hollywood since this. Actually,
he got I think 1 or 2 more gigs. He did the Capone movie that got panned, and after that, he didn't get anything else.
He was a one-hit wonder. He did Chronicle. Have you seen Chronicle?
It's great.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's the only one he had, apparently.
Well, one-hit wonders do happen.
He did Chronicle, and it was so good and so well received that Fox gave him the keys to the Fantastic Four. And so I'm pretty sure that was his second movie.
They gave him the keys, but they didn't tell him where the castle was at.
They didn't tell him how to push the gas pedal.
No.
So he broke into an abandoned shack somewhere and kicked in the door.
Yeah. But that's what we have coming down the pipeline, guys. It's going to be a whole lot of fun here. And the Fantastic Four movies are, of course, all on our journey to Fantastic Four First Steps, which comes out in July, which hopefully, prayerfully, will by far be the best Fantastic Four movie. Hopefully.
It is an insanely low bar.
Yes.
Currently, you have to beat the unreleased 1994 Fantastic Four movie that they made for $1 million.
Yes. And I mean, truth be told, that's not a high bar.
It's really not.
At all.
It's really not.
Doesn't seem like it would be.
No. Dr. Doom is fantastic in that for all the wrong reasons, but okay. It bothers me how quickly you were to just hop on that.
I can't believe you knew which button to hit.
There's only certain buttons that I know what they do, but that's definitely one of them. Yeah.
Oh shit! I think we're ready to wrap this thing.
We are.
Well, homies, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this breakdown of Andor. It is very bittersweet because I've enjoyed this journey of watching and reviewing seasons 1 and 2. But man, all journeys must come to an end, so they say. But we'll be back again with some more very interesting content for all you homies to digest. But until next time, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
I'm superhero homie Caleb.
Adios, amigos. I'm superhero homie Lauren.